Alrighty. Audio is good because audio gets crazy. Anywho, hello everybody. It is time for our weekly D&D session. The Fallen episode, the big 3-0. There will be fair. Fairs? Fair. A fair. Of which has been suggested. But, in the meantime, sit down, have a seat, welcome on in, and try not to sit on that table over there because Steve likes flipping tables. Alright, gonna get this going.
Ready,
Alright,
Freddy.
so
Ready,
who would
Freddy.
like to do the recap for an inspiration? Even if you have one, we'll just kind of store it in a bank because you guys have opted to utilize the turn in your recap for a montage to get a +1 in a skill. So,
Everybody
at this
needs
point,
a montage.
yep. So at this point, effectively, nobody has an inspiration, so anybody can do a recap right now.
So we can actually click my inspiration off.
Yeah, I may as well do it now because we already know, like you guys have already opted for it, so the montage will kind of be the first thing we do. So with that being said, to whom does the spoils go? The first inspiration after the spending, you'll be the only person with it, and you're gonna be the coolest kid on the block. Who wants it?
I'm gonna wait an appropriate amount of time to see if anybody else volunteers, and then I'll say, I guess I'll do it, and then just be happy to have the inspiration.
I could recap, but I'm not home and driving, and it's very loud right now, so I'm gonna pass.
Safety first. You can't do it. All right, this
I
feels
think
like
that
a
was
good
an
spot
appropriate
to.
amount of time.
Yeah,
that was appropriate.
I was thinking.
That was
All right.
exactly appropriate.
So, once upon a time, there was this group, and they were traveling through the Feywild. They were coming from the city of Dale, which apparently is a city full of just mimics and furniture and doors that like to greet people, but also consume meat. And sometimes they're mayors. And along this journey, we found this dude and this girl, and dude was extra stinky. Girl couldn't talk except through musical instruments that came out of her mouth, which made me think she was like an illusion or something, but I couldn't tell that she was like any charms or anything that was going on. We follow them to this new place that is very important, but I've already forgotten the name of it, but it was still very cool. And then when we get there, there's guards and stuff, and we're asking kind of like for directions and stuff, and everybody's looking at Stinky sideways. And then Maximilian J. Fox Voldemort, first of his name, decided, hey, you know what? There's some people here that have a lot of extra money on them. I'm gonna help them out with that. And so him and Raul decided, wouldn't it be fun if we just scammed a bunch of losers out of their money, right? And so I don't even remember the scams. I remember there was so much going on. There was like fireworks, there was flying, there was like Pirelli's miracle elixir that could regrow your hair or something to that effect. Even the guards were getting in on this, and it felt kind of like almost like a Disney musical scene, but without the music. Ironically, with Max being a bard who likes to play music, but it was just, but not like a hero montage moment, right? But more of like the villain of the story, just sneaking around and stealing, and all these poor people came to the fair, and now they're leaving for the city of Dale, right? Because that's where miracles happen. Because the truth of the matter is, Max just wanted to recruit people for his pirate crew so he can get back to sailing the Astral Sea. How are they going to get there? Who knows? But Raoul went with them. So with those losers gone, the remaining members of the party decided, you know what, let's go to the tavern, let's ask some questions, let's get some information going. Um, and this whole time there's like this carnival fair kind of scenario going on, and I think they're saying the next day is when it's coming. Everybody is just building it up right now, but they have stalls and stuff and they're real busy, probably people from out of town, but they're like, all right, tomorrow is when everything's going down, so we just gotta bide our time until tomorrow. uh let's see, they did a bunch of stuff, talked to a bunch of people, and saw like a few perception checks were rolled. Things were going well. Good moods. Oh, they found somebody. Wasn't it like, was he like a little goblin or a gnome, some kind of dirt bag who had like a little entourage with him? And they were like, that's the person who something, 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 right? And then he like disappeared in the crowd because a bunch of fairy guards, not necessarily guards from here, like a bunch of like authoritative figures who were 3 feet tall and fluttering on fairy wings came in through the tavern, and they were like, had wanted posters going with them, and they were looking out for people. And then you had this hulking like figure in the corner who's like drinking alone, and then they're like, stop, there they are. And then all of a sudden this pixie, not a fairy because fairies are about 3 times taller than this dude, comes behind like the pitcher of ale, and they have to skedaddle, and he had a fantastic fake mustache, I remember that, and he came back to pay the tab even after they were chased out. And then we had like just our group meet the two new characters, and there was like a little bit of a chase scene. There was some cabbages that were rolling around in the ground. There were some back alleys that people were kind of ducking into. Um, I believe one person disguised themselves as a human with blonde hair and green eyes, maybe because they're like a tiefling or something, and sometimes tieflings aren't necessarily, smiled upon. Same could be said of like a drow or something. So who knows where that character went, right? She's kind of missing in action, kind of like behind the scenes the whole time, I assume. Maybe she got like a hood up, who knows. Um, we had like, let's see, handshakes were offered, rings and palms were like kissed, I believe. Uh, I don't know. It was a good meeting. Everybody felt good about it, right? And they were talking to the two who kind of had like wanted posters, and they were a little bit like, well, I want to be honest, but I don't want to be too honest, right? If people are looking for me, then I can't just blurt out my identity, but it's also really rude to hide your identity, right? And anyway, it turns out they kind of got the impression that the guards were just a bunch of jerks, right? And so this wasn't necessarily a bunch of ne'er do wells. These weren't criminals who were wanted, right? One of them was a runaway, was a missing person, and the other one was technically wanted, but he seems all right. And he's also just a gorilla, it seems, with robot arms and a robot chest, and maybe a heart that's made out of clockwork. And if you get quiet enough, you can hear it like ticking, right? Um, did a bunch of fun stuff. Went to I think they're going to bed, and we all did a let's see, I believe the cleric maybe did, no, not the cleric. Who did maybe the warlock? Pass without trace. Somebody cast pass without trace. Gave everybody extra stealth, kind of hiding in the crowds, and then I think I cast invisibility just to be extra safe. Am I missing stuff? I'm probably missing some stuff.
Couple of little details. So
Go ahead.
so the human female that Cha turned into has red hair.
Oh,
And they're the one who cast the pass without a trace. You wouldn't know about it because you weren't there for it, but there were some figures in that tavern who were from way back at the beginning of the game, which was Mr. Black and his entourage. They're like gangsters.
Oh,
And they were in the bar in the Feywild. We saw them on the material plane.
oh,
So how the hell did they get here, and why are they so casual about being able to plane shift and stuff? They took off right before the candy cane guys came in, and we met your characters. So that was significant for like long game stuff.
We also
right.
lost what's his name? Didn't I can't remember Ronald. What was his name? The dude.
Oh, Stinky. Yeah. He kind of flipped away, didn't he? And you
Well,
tried to like cleanse him, but like even with like prestidigitation, couldn't get rid of it.
Oh, right.
It was like
Yeah.
cursed, maybe.
And then I paid off his tab, and then he left when everything started going.
Yeah.
pear-shaped.
They didn't want to let him in because he owed too much, and then
That's
you
right.
generously paid for him. And then he skedaddled.
Geraldo. No, what was his name? Geraldo.
Mm-mm.
Geraldo?
No, what was his name?
No, his
Harrison.
name was Arsenio.
Yes.
Was his name Haas? Did we just call him Haas? Like Big Haas?
He did have a name. I
Big
wrote down his
Steve.
name.
It started with an
His
H,
name
I'm
was
sure.
Who are we talking about?
Elrune.
Elrune.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Oh, Stinky.
Stinky.
An H
What did you-
indeed.
What other names did you
And the-
come up with?
And Tina or Nina.
Tina.
Yeah.
I
Maria.
don't think Rain and Sherman, I don't think met Elrune. I think he vanished before we got to him because he
Yeah.
drank the Deep Rock Galactic Wormhole Special.
Oh yeah.
All right. Congratulations on being the first one to have inspiration after a montage.
Good job.
Or technically before the montage, but after the montage.
Everybody needs a montage.
So, with that being said, the important question before you guys, wind down, because you guys were aiming to head to the inn and wind down for the evening.
Did they not have business to like? I thought they were gonna do one more thing. I thought it was Rain and Sherman going to the inn, and then the other four were gonna do like one thing they needed to check on, and then they were gonna go. Maybe I'm wrong.
We left off. We were grouping up with everybody else after they chased us. We met in the market, and then we kind of talked. And you were circling both Zed and Shaw's heads while Sherman was introducing himself. And I think that's the last we did. I don't think we decided. We said we were going to go to one of the inns, and I don't think we ever did. I think we left right as soon as we said it.
Yeah, we were heading to the Lofty Highborn, I believe it was called,
Correct.
and there were a couple other places that we were told about. The Missing No, and then there was like some adventurer's hut.
Good
don't
reference,
know if
by the way,
those-
Cubed.
Yeah, I don't know if those were supposed to be the same place or not. The last thing I remember where we left the actual episode off, Cubed was basically going to kind of set the scene as we walked from the more kind of maybe industrial kind of market area to this nicer side of town where the Lofty Highborn would be. So we didn't get there yet, but we were heading there. And as far as the party splitting, to Q's point, I think we had talked about getting a room at the inn, having a place that we can, have like a home base, so to speak, and then those of us that were curious might go check the adventurer's hut just to see if maybe there was work or something like that. But that's where that came from. So also Zed bought a really nice flask.
Oh yeah.
And you got to engrave it.
And it was
Yep.
really nice. And you had like a magic spell where you could engrave it one time.
So
Like
out of character,
overnight, if you thought about it.
I wasn't sure how Cubed was gonna play that. And so that's why I was being somewhat insistent on getting that whoever crafted it, getting their name. Because when he said the whole thing about like, oh yeah, you just have to wait until tomorrow, I was like very skeptical. I thought, oh, it's gonna be one of those things where you wake up and like all of the sheen has kind of worn off. You realize that it was maybe just painted instead of like it being real. So I was like, he was like, yeah, just give it 24 hours because that's how long the cover spell or whatever would last. So hopefully I didn't
Big
get swindled.
risk. It's a big risk because if we're still in town, it's a big town. We could just come back, be
Yeah.
like, Hey.
That's why I was sure to get his name, because when that was the other thing too, is when I asked him, he was and he's just kind of insisted. He was like, I'm nobody. I was like, no, you're fucking not. I'm getting your name so I can come find you. Anyway, yeah, that was a fun episode. But I believe that's where we left off.
I shared the Doom banana with Sherman, so we don't know if it
yeah,
was
We
that's
did.
right.
Didn't we also
That's
coat it with some
right.
cinnamon?
Yeah, we put
Yeah, he
cinnamon
puts-
sugar sprinkled on it.
Oh yeah,
It was delicious.
got
It
Oh
was
fancy.
great.
no.
Yeah, cinnamon toast doom banana.
Yeah.
Oh,
Crunchy with every
that'll
bite.
just mean the destruction of all realities, not just our own.
Or the banana realm.
Bovine realm.
Can't wait for that one.
I spelled Zed wrong in my title.
I would
All
love
right.
to go to a banana realm and it just be like anthropomorphic, like gorilla people, and you just find out you're in Kong country.
Ooh.
Oh, sweet.
Cookie?
Kong country.
It's Rain Turtleby, correct?
I mean, kind of. Oh, the way I introduced myself, I
As
did
far
say
as we know.
I did say a truth. I said my name used to be Rain Turtleby, and that is factual.
Oh.
I was updating my
And you
title.
didn't
That's
say
why I asked.
no, but your new wasn't that the name you gave us was Rain. But
Yeah, my name's Rain. It used
not
to be Rain
Turtleby?
Turtleby.
Or artist
Okay.
formerly known as Rain
Okay.
Turtleby.
Oh, you did. I don't know if it was an intentional slip up, but you did mention Tandy. You kept referring to Lord Peppermint, but
Tandy.
you did mention Tandy as well.
Uh-huh.
So,
And then I quickly covered with like
Let's
you know, a
see
little
here.
color to the cheek,
Okay.
touching index fingers and being like, of course, why would I call him Tandy? I wouldn't have any kind of relations with him. It's Lord Peppermint, of
Mhm.
course.
that was gonna alter my noise gate a little bit. Burp.
The banana. I can't wait to see how that plays out. And you gave that horrifying teddy bear to one of the mimic children, right? And they took it?
You tried
Yeah.
to, and they refused to take it, right?
They did the first time, but I
Mhm.
think he convinced
I think-
them a
I
second
think
time.
as we were
Oh.
leaving town,
I missed that part.
I think Kozik,
Hey,
correct
like-
me if I'm wrong, I think you tried again, and they
Yeah.
were like,
And they took it.
I think they thought they
Huh?
were imposing that they shouldn't take it, and then
Okay.
you insisted, and then they like clutched onto it and were really happy about it.
Oh
She-
no.
You're
She
gonna go
did
to
end up
sleep and
with
it's
it.
gonna show up.
And apparently she walked away like fascinated by its
Oh,
shark-like
no.
gaze or whatever.
Yeah,
I
we
said we'd be back, so maybe we will, and we'll see what happens.
When the teddy bear
no.
murders everybody.
we just created a new like
No.
demigod or some shit like that.
I know. We thought Dale was bad for that town.
It was
Exactly.
really Kozik.
It goes
the
the
bear the whole
ultimate
time.
end.
All right. So, you guys were heading to the Lofty Highborn.
Okay. And are we doing? Is this like montage time or do we do
Montage
that
will be
later?
soon.
Okay.
Hold on. Because we're gonna need a montage.
Even Rocky had a montage. So we were
Suddenly my notes are all
sneakishly
over the
going
place.
there with Pass
There
Without
it
a
is. Lofty
Trace.
Highborn. There it is.
I
Okay.
think.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which we all rolled really well on.
Yes. So I think we could have made it there to this Lofty Highborn. And yeah, let's get in there. Let's see what's going on. Oh yeah, and I
Yeah,
think you
so I
told
was
us
going to
that the
paint the,
town, like the surrounding town, was starting to noticeably look more,
make sure I do this right.
elite
Yeah.
and
Okay.
flashy with wealth as we
So
entered
I
this
will get to
area.
that, which will be now, because you guys have made your way through Zareth, the different quarters, as it were, the different sections, and you went to So you kind of have a pretty good idea of the difference in the change of environment. You started off in the the flaming horse, which
Horse.
yes, of course, the flaming horse. Which you got to feel that was sort of maybe the lower end of town, the more rundown area, or intentionally made cheaper because tavern fights may or may not be very common in that particular location.
Got to keep the property value low. I support it.
Yeah. And so you kind of got to feel that was maybe like in the trades quarter, maybe the shadier side of town, but you did make your way through Zareth and through the middle of the of the tiers of wealth. Probably a little bit more the side of where the merchants would be. A lot more trade, pretty much the area where cabbages were dispatched and quickly paid off. But now you're in the nobles' quarters. Everything changes. Attire changes. People's personalities change. There's definitely a lot more cleaner individuals. They walk with their backs straight and shoulders straight. They hold, some of them more than others, hold their chins very high. They walk with this poise of elegance. And definitely a distinct lack therein of trade stalls and individuals that, might be considered the lessers, as some might see. But it's definitely the ritzy neighborhood, as they say. And among these people, of varying degrees of walks of life, but mostly Feywild entities, lots of elves with interesting features. For those of you who know of the Fey, the denizens of the Fey, different walks of life of Eladrin. There's fairies everywhere, and it's like maybe a pixie here and there, but it doesn't. For the most part, yeah, they do dress well. Some do hold their chin high. Some do have this poise and nobility to them, but a lot of them are just. They seem very nonchalant about everything. Like they see fairies just kind of floating around and giggling and having a good time. There's, some of the Eladrin are doing the same thing, but they don't really have wings, so they can't really fly around and do it. But yeah, for the most part, definitely seems like a lot more jovial and a lot more celebratory. But also, they have a stance that is pretty undeniable. I mean, Kozik holds themselves to this kind of standard, so it's pretty identifiable for those who may have known Kozik for a while, especially. And off in the distance.
Are we noticing a change in Kozik's demeanor as we enter this kind of reality?
We'll see. But you do notice that there is a fairly nice looking building. The facing is like this nice clean white with this gold trim with no, there's actually like glitter along with it. Like it is flashy, it is shiny. Like during the day, this building most definitely stands out. And on the top it says, written in cursive. They're so elegant they can even use cursive. It's almost foreign to some people, and it says the Lofty Highborn.
Well, this is definitely swanky. Before we get too much further, I've got want to kind of huddle everyone up a little bit, just so no one around can hear us. So I've got a bit of an idea. Just wanted to bounce this off you. We got the two of you. He's going to gesture to Sherman and Rain. Right, two of you are trying to lay low. My thoughts are, we've already got a noble. What if we play that up a bit? What if we try to get all the attention on Kozik to kind of draw a bit more of attention away from Rain and Sherm? I could go in and basically present Kozik as a, kind of leader of our company, noblest of nobles, things like that. And quite possibly have, like I said, some attention drawn and maybe
Like
get
when they announce people at a ball.
something like that. Uh,
Or like garden
and
parties, when they come in, they announce you.
right, and we might be able to get some special treatment, if you will. I'm not expecting it. This place is quite nice, but it can work from time to time. What do you all think?
Sounds good to me. Should we change our looks a little bit? Or
Yeah, you're not wrong, but so I guess at that point Zed'll kind of look around and do we like radically stand out in this area, Cubed?
Yes. There's no denying it.
Okay.
Definitely yes.
Maybe not all of us should go in there.
Right, well, we're all gonna have to go in at some point because we're all gonna have to go to the room, right? But maybe at first, for that introduction, maybe it's like maybe you could kind of can you use first of all, is Cha still disguised?
Yes, as
Okay.
a human female.
So I feel like are you able to change your clothes, or I know you said you didn't change your clothes.
Oh, he can. Yeah, he can change everything, anything.
Okay. Well, I'm concerned about us possibly splitting up, given that those fairies might be around.
We
Maybe we
could get
all
a
just go in
room.
there.
Could get a room at one of the maybe back in the lower class district to stay out of sight, out of the eye of the the political elite and the authorities who may be surrounding this area.
It's possible. I feel like
'Cause
look, we are
we
here.
came here for a drink, right? Did we want to stay here?
Well, we were gonna probably feel it out. Well, might as well. What, should we just go in?
All together?
Hey, but we should all go in. You guys are, for the purposes of this fiction, you guys are my entourage.
Aye. All right.
But before we do that, what if we get questions about this glorious, massive gorilla figure?
He's obviously security.
Well, I've got my invisibility spell for myself, right? But I also have a fake mustache. If you remember, I could give that to Sherman if you think it'll help.
That one's up to you.
1 second.
Is it a magic mustache?
Well, it
Is it
magically
like
adheres to your upper lip if you lick it and stick it.
the pinnacle of magic?
Here in the Feywild, they've seen all manner of strangeness.
Cubed, here's a question. So as we've been sneaking through the shadows through these various districts, have we seen the peppermint kind of crew, those figures? Have we seen them at all moving about? Like, was it just those two? Or are we seeing more units that are spread throughout the city, or what?
Not passively.
Okay, so we haven't spotted anything.
Can I actively try to perceive if there are any more of the peppermint cards anywhere?
Yes.
Candy cane court.
You say the candy court?
Is that what they are? The candy cane court?
What if we call them the candy corns?
They used to be just horrible, awful people when they were younger. They were children of the candy corn, and then as they got older, they just naturally.
Oh no.
No, not children of a candy corn. Ah!
Well, roll
I would
away.
love a Feywild horror story. Yeah. This is me just being a little paranoid and just kind of looking. Actually, I would feel emboldened because I did cast invisibility. That's why I have a 34 stealth if you look up, right? So I'm gonna flutter up like 10, 15 feet into the air and do a little spin and just kind of look.
All right. So you get, you get the high ground, as it were,
Mhm.
and you look around. You narrow your eyes. You do everything you can to look for these people, especially with that little bit of invisibility. Like you'd see them before they'd see you, if you do
Mhm.
see them, and you do see them. Two of them,
Uh-oh.
the same two,
Same too.
and you
Ah.
actually notice
Mm-hmm.
that they are heading towards the gate.
The gate is in the exit. They're vacating
Yes.
the premises.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Hot dog. All right.
Nice.
That's when I'm gonna come down and you know what? I'm so emboldened by this. I'm just gonna reappear. Like they're just gonna see this little pixie just pop back into place, and that's exactly what I say. I say, "Hot dog, they're gone." I just flew up there and I was looking towards the gates, and they done skedaddled, and we are safe. Up top, Sherman. I'm gonna hold out my tiny pixie hand for a high five.
While
You
invisible.
I
see,
will-
sometimes it does work. You
I'll
know,
high five with the large hand.
they're chasing you, so they think that you're going to keep running. Sometimes you just loop back a little bit, stick around, they go off on their own.
That's the best advice you ever gave me.
All right, so
Seemed like you
now
might
that
have
we
had
got that,
experience like this before, Zed.
well, oh, plenty of times. Uh, so, we're gonna. I at least want to fill this bad boy up. He's gonna kind of shake his flask a little bit and put it back in his pocket.
So Cha looks at Kozik and is like, would you like me to appear as one of your kinsmen? Could
You
help
can
your
pull it off.
could help your entrance. Oh, sure.
Sounds like a
And
good idea.
Cha's gonna kind of, because he's still stealthing with everybody. He's gonna kind of go into a shadowy corner and transform into a dwarf,
Nice.
with the best appearance, like the best idea of Kozik in his most regal, attire, similar color scheme as Kozik's armor and whatnot, trying to appear as if he is from his court, from his land, from his, from his family. Female dwarf with keeping the long red hair motif. Really long sideburns. Kind of round apple-like cheeks, bright eyes, freckles, and but sort of dressed in nobility, and is gonna kind of come back out of the shadows and saunter up next to Kozik. How will this do, dearie?
Just dwarf, have you got a name?
What's a good female dwarf name?
You kind of look like an Agatha.
Oh, is that a dwarf name, Kozik?
Cousin named Agatha. You shall be her.
Agatha. Very well. Agatha Deepshaft.
Signet ring so everyone can see it, just for the sake of for appearance.
That
Oh,
sounds
okay.
right regal
So
though, don't it?
he can add the signet ring if you point that out as part of the disguise.
It's a dead ringer.
Agatha does a little curtsy and then sort of stands up next to Kozik.
All right.
Zed's gonna kind of straighten himself up, and he'll take his hat off, and he'll pull his hair back into like a nice like ponytail, hopefully, so he doesn't look like quite as straggly. He'll put his hat back on pretty straight, and he'll walk over, and he's like, "All right, well, I guess in we go." He'll push the door open and kind of hold it open while everyone comes in, almost like valet esque.
Do the what are we gonna do with the gorilla? I'm gonna disguise myself as well.
Ah. Oh, I saw that you cast that, so you can do that too.
All right. So, Zed, being the initiation of opening these very elegant doors, they are so clean. You have never touched a cleaner door in your life. And they open up to a small, 10 by 15 room where there's like this little podium and this human man just standing behind it. It looks like he's dressed in like this little valet vest, like this little red and like a couple of buttons, and he has this little bow tie on, and he looks up as you walk in because there's like these doors behind him as well. So it's kind of like this, transitional entrance, a concourse of sorts. And he looks up to you.
Zed's gonna kind of clear his throat and stand straight up. Like, hello, good sir. This is Master Kozik Deepshaft, pinnacle of dwarven nobility, navigator of the Underdark, thrower of hammers, defender of Grenstall, purveyor of memorable quotes, dabbler of shrines, harbinger of vibes, explorer of the Feywilds, contactor of magical cats, acolyte of she who must not be named, collector of cursed bananas and teddy bears, probably best not to ask about that one, savior of mimics, caster of only the most exceptional eldritch blasts, and finally, if not foremost, the grace of your current presence. And he's going to gesture to Kozik as he kind of lowers his head. It took me
That
like
was
40 minutes
genius.
to write all that.
That was genius.
A tear kind of almost comes to Kozik's eye. He tries to maintain his stoic nature.
Agatha tries not to let their mouth drop open at that introduction.
That was pretty good. I'll give you that much. I'm almost tempted to give that an inspiration, but I don't know if you guys want me just
It
giving
was
out inspiration.
inspirational to me. In fact, Rain
me.
just sits there like jaw unhinged, just wow, like they are in the presence of great. They had no idea. Stars in my eyes right now as I'm staring at Kozik.
You know what?
Agatha's looking at Kozik with like
here's
a
a-
different look in his eye.
Here's a cool little mechanic. How does everybody feel inspired by that presentation? Then that's how I'll decide if I give you the inspiration. How about that? Everybody gets to be a part of it.
Kozik is like, maybe I am worthy of this party. But he would never let anybody see that. He kind of tries to stand up even straighter.
Agatha, right next to Kozik, is suddenly, Cha's like elevated into this tremendous being's presence and is related to them and feels a rush of pride at being the dwarvish cousin to this incredible noble beside him. And he's just like, literally doesn't know how to not be inspired by that introduction and by Kozik.
All right. How does
Definitely.
Oh, go on.
I definitely feel like this is gonna help the situation in the exact way we want it to be. So I'm just gonna like kind of flutter around like just everybody in whatever the room. I don't know who all's in here besides our party, right? And I've got like hands on hips. I'm just fluttering around. There's little pixie dust going everywhere, and I'm like, look, I may just be a humble pixie of the autumn glades, but that's the most impressive title I've ever heard. It's almost like a celebrity coming through here, and then I'm just trying to just pump it up, right? Like just the awe of it. But it's not an act. This is me actually just being like, I didn't know he was that big a deal, and it's just what a great entrance.
All right, what about Sherman? What's Sherman's thoughts on this? You're the tiebreaker right now. Like, if you're not feeling inspired, then, you know, there might not be an inspiration going out.
In my new appearance, I will walk in behind and I will curtsy to everybody, and I will add to the performance of, let's see how I do it. Not very well, but I will be like, all hail, Kozik Deep Shaft, King of the Mountain.
Oh, what does Sherman look like now?
A bronze skinned Azamar in like a long white flowing like Greek mythological robe, goes from
Oh,
neck to floor, and it has little golden brooches on it. Very regal-esque entourage following behind the noble.
But does Sherman feel inspired is the important question.
I feel the most inspired right now by this title. I'm in the grace of a god himself.
All right, Kozik, you have been presented as such, and Zed, you feel like the party, your entourage, with that presentation and maybe you being slightly out of breath, you feel a rush of inspiration as the human standing behind the podium. He's just as starstruck as Rain. Like, you don't even get like a narrow eyes or anything. He actually straightens himself up and, you know, adjusts his little bow tie. Oh dear. He's barely able to even conjure words, but you know, he is in the grace of nobility pretty often, so he catches himself quickly. Oh, well, welcome. The lofty highborn would be more than honored to have such lofty highborns here. And he steps a little bit to the side and reaches his hand out, clasps on like a handle on the door, and just pushes it open. And you guys walk in.
I look down my nose with just a little bit. I kind of raise my nose and look down at him, as I'm sure he's used to, and I give him the slightest of nods as we pass through the door.
All right.
Agatha does the same, like watching Kozik's every motion to mimic, and does the same.
Speaking of mimics, no, just kidding.
Not again!
Doors grow teeth.
So, as the doors are pushed open and you finally get a full ability to observe this grandiose opening, you are greeted immediately with the scent of lavender. You are greeted with, all of your senses are almost overwhelmed. There's this strong sense of lavender. There's like visually, there's this all sorts of murals and paintings of just elegance, people on thrones, portraits of great kings and queens crowned, some of which look like they have, some of the images convey like maybe a battle that has been won, and a crowned figure stands atop them with one foot on the pile of bodies and a sword pointing to the sky. But that's just the walls. The ceiling itself is adorned with several very nice, very elegant, very extremely meticulously cut crystals dangling with lights. Chandeliers abound, and across the way you see this what looks like a bar, as best you can tell, because damn, that is some shiny. But there's this bar lined with gold. Stools that look like they are made of the most expensive cushions that you could ever see, and tables that almost seem like they are mimicking a knight's table. these long round tables that have chairs all around. There's some rectangular tables here and there. There's a couple of booths with these really nice looking padded seats. Like, this place is holy crap decadence. Like, this place almost puts Dale's residence to shame, and Dale's situation. And there are people chit-chatting about, sitting at the tables, varying degrees of noble. You don't really see anybody with anything remotely soiled. But you and your interesting little party walk in. Nobody seems to, bat an eye. Except for maybe some of your clothing, because not everybody's wearing, noble's clothing. But after, a few seconds, the individual who's guarding the door, or in front of the door, announces the exact same thing that Zed did, but with far less fervor, as he's still maybe a little starstruck. And that definitely turns a few heads.
Zed's still going to be as Kozik and Agatha
Who owns
now
these decadents?
are
The tavern?
walking through. Zed's still going to be kind of hunched over in a very respectful sort of bow, and you, I guess as Kozik walks by, you just kind of
The
barely
lofty
hear this
highborn.
audible sigh of like, like okay, we got through it, and Zed's gonna stand back up, and he's Master Kozik, Miss Agatha, shall I get some beverages?
Great idea. That would be wonderful. Thank you, Zedarian.
Absolutely, Zedarian.
Nice. Be my pleasure.
Are you getting them for everybody or just
Oh,
the
aye,
nobles?
absolutely.
Oh, I make sure to I make a show of giving him a I don't know why everything's so theatrical, but I make a show of giving him a 10 gold to start with, to start a tab.
Zed'll nod and kind of briskly walk toward the bar.
I appreciate the poetic irony, Kozik.
What could you get me a like a chocolate milk with those crazy curly straws?
I
think they have
Yes,
that
I'll
here.
do my best.
Chocolate
It's a
milk?
Feywild, of course they have it. Why wouldn't they?
What's chocolate milk?
It's milk, but
Hey.
it's chocolate.
Chaw, it would blow your fucking mind.
Certainly
Anyway,
one for
sorry.
Agatha as well.
Speaking that way.
His voice changes for a second. He's like, I've never had chocolate before. You guys have only read about it.
Secretly, it's better than candy canes. Don't tell nobody I said that though. They get particular.
I've got to try that too.
Alrighty.
I'm just gonna give poor Chaw a look like this deprived child, right?
I think it's gonna be funny if they do actually have it. His reaction, trying to stay in disguise while experiencing chocolate milk for the first time.
Oh,
That's gonna be difficult. You might have to do like a fucking saving throw or something.
right, to see if I hold the spell. Good call.
You just start like doing backflips and shit.
Mhm.
All right, so Zed's gonna head over to the bar.
Does this place have tables, or is it
Oh, yeah,
are
there's-
people just standing? And
Yeah, there's tables. There's definitely tables all about. For the most part, people are sitting. There may be a couple of people having a conversation, off to the side. A couple of fairies that don't really need tables, so they're just, standing and flying are equally the same to them, so they're just fluttering about having conversations. You can probably overhear a couple of them. Like, oh my god, did you hear about what happened yesterday? Like, totally. Oh yeah, totally. Like, that poor person, got his wagon knocked over. Like, that was so weird. I don't know. Totally.
I
does
want
it
to
seem like anyone's dancing?
No. But as you kind of
No
move
dance.
in a little bit, you notice that there's just this big empty space off to the side. There's no tables there or anything. Maybe a bit of a dance floor. Who knows?
Is there music playing?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. Let me check. There we go. Yes, there is. There's a nice, soothing harp playing.
Agatha turns to Kozik. Here for a dance, cousin. Could really give them a show. Show them who's entered the room here.
I kind of think about it and try not to show any sort of discomfort and say, right, let me show you a dwarven dance step, I guess.
That would be great.
It could be both.
All right, let's do it.
Cha inside of his disguised self is doing somersaults in his brain and heart right now.
But, before you do that, Sid was kind of heading towards getting beverages. Unfortunately, I couldn't find music that wasn't like DMCA for it, but I might be able to have some of that soon. It's expensive. So Zed, you head to this golden bar, right? All right. So as you make your way to it, there are two fairies. One seems to be like fluttering about. There's like this big wall of alcohol or beverages behind them, and there's one that flutters over to you. Well, not really to you, but they're aware of your approach, and they flutter towards you. Just on the bar. They're not going past the bar. Just sort of like, I see a new customer coming, so preparation. Like, hello, what can I do for you?
Hello there. Couple questions. What's your most expensive alcoholic beverage?
Let me say. And at this point, you realize that, there's this little fairy lady, and she taps her chin for a moment. Most expensive? That would be like what we call the rampaging bar. It's like a whole gold for just one. Just one. I mean, if you can afford it, that is. Like, oh my god.
Do you have anything that's like very fancy or very rare? Maybe not as expensive as that, but elegant.
Like, everything here is elegant. Like, that's why it's so expensive.
All right. And by the way, you look absolutely lovely today, but I'm sure that that's a regular occurrence.
Give me a persuasion. Do it.
Yeah, come on, Zed. Come on, boy. Come on.
21.
Yes. Nice.
So her wings almost seem like they flutter uncontrollably, like offbeat. She, despite being a fairy, still there's definitely this like blushing in her cheeks, and she kind of puts a finger over her mouth and turns her head to the side a little bit, side-eyeing you. Oh, stop it.
Zed'll just kind of smile and wink. And so, second question. This might be a bit odd for this establishment, but do you have chocolate milk?
I mean, we can get it like really easily around here. Especially for you. Valued
don't mean to-
customer. What's your name, by the way? And she's like
Oh, I'm
twirling her hair as she's talking to you now. Like her demeanor has drastically changed.
I'm Zedarian Thatcher. I'm a valet for Master Kozik Deepshaft. You probably saw him enter recently.
She looks over.
I don't mean to inconvenience you though. If it's not something that you all have, I apologize.
Oh no, like we can get whatever you want, like whatever you want.
Zed'll kind of tilt his head. All right. I like the sound of that. So can I have your most expensive beverage for Master Kozik, and then can I get? Shit, Sherman didn't tell me what he wanted. Can I get just 3 of the chocolate milks, maybe? And then Zed'll pull out his well adorned flask and kind of set it on the bar. And do you have anything very, very strong that I might be able to fill this up with?
I mean, and she flutters up to the to your flask, and she runs a finger along it, very
Ooh.
suggestively. Well, I mean, I could, but I mean, you could do me a favor or two then. You know, getting these kind of things takes a lot of effort and time.
That'd be my pleasure.
All right. And there's like this, not really wicked smile, but like this, she definitely has a smile on her face. Well, not here though, like maybe later. And as she's like running her finger along your flask, her other hand
Woo!
slides forward like a little note
Getting steamy in here.
with an address on it.
Zed's just gonna kind of nod and smile and slide the note toward him. Unassuming,
And remember,
put it in
big
his pocket.
boy, there's magics that can enlarge and reduce. And she winks and then kind of flutters behind the, there's like this door that she flutters behind. But I'll get your drinks for you. And as she's crossing the threshold, she looks over her shoulder at you and then turns back with a hand on the door as she disappears into the back. Meanwhile, I'll let you process that one. Meanwhile, the dance floor.
We all have to process that one.
So we got a couple of dancers going to some soft harp music.
So I think that Kozik will for the first time, while Agatha takes position as like as with Kozik leading the dance, Kozik will really notice Chaw's like really incredible dexterity, and like his dancing skills are spectacular, and he's like an expert follower for whatever Kozik moves and tries to do. He's with it, like it's really in tune, just really good at in tune with dancing.
All right.
At least that's some part of his training.
I mean,
these steps incredibly.
Yeah, the difference between a dance move and a stance is really not that much. But it depends on who's leading, which would be Kozik. So is Kozik going to give me a nice little performance?
Those the dwarven boots.
Okay.
Not terrible.
And you are being aided, so you can roll that again. See if you can get better.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and roll it
Nat
again.
20. Nat 20.
Boom.
15. So what kind of dance is Kozik doing? Is he like breaking it down? Is he like ballroom blitzing? Is he like handstanding? Like what is the what would be a noble dance?
You said there's some sort of like harp music playing.
Yeah, there's like soft harp music playing right now.
I think maybe there's some sort of convention of dwarven nobility that they don't, necessarily touch right away. So you kind of keep your hands behind your back and do some kind of dwarven jig a little bit. We both
Ah.
mirror these kind of like waltzing kind of steps that we do at each other.
There we go.
And yeah, Cha is quite good and quite adept at this. Fast learner. And I'm a little rusty. It's been a while since I've done it.
I mean, you have been through a lot. You have been through a lot.
But it kind of feels like home a little bit. Like, oh, I haven't done these steps in many a moon. It's kind of incredible. And I almost fall over, but not
Oh.
quite.
Chad does his best to like keep Kozik looking like the limelight, because that was part of the intention of the dance. But is also like, you're really good at this, Kozik.
Of training.
How
So,
hard would it be to copy that?
I'd say maybe just a pretty easy intellect,
All right.
just to see, how well you
That
can
would be
remember
it.
the exact steps and
Like,
what have
just-
you.
Yeah, it's just watching them. I want to use a second level spell slot to cast mirror image. And I
Oh.
want to like fly above them a little bit, right? Kind of like out to the sides though. And then I'm just gonna do like a big like as I'm talking to my mirror images, because there's 3 of them, so there's 4 together, and we're gonna pair up, right? One on the left side of them and one on the right side. And I'm just gonna do like little cordial bows and stuff, kind of emulating the nobility ambiance around. And I'm like, may I have this dance? And then just in return, like, well, of course you can, right? And then just I would like to like have these 2 sets of identical pixies, just little foot tall flying fairies, just doing this dance. Let me see if I can on a what am I rolling?
Performance.
Everybody's gonna want
Performance.
to be on the dance floor now.
But with advantage, because
Oh,
Okay, wait, with advantage. Hold on. I'm gonna do one more.
come on.
All right, so instead, like
you
we're
do
having
have
a lot of
inspiration. I'll
trouble.
point that out.
Nah, I'm having a lot of trouble
Yeah.
like doing what they're doing. Probably because I keep having to like look down, and I have 4 bodies that have to like, keep
I'll
up
have to
with,
learn
and it's
it.
really I dance with myself all the time, but this is a new dance. So instead, we're just gonna give up, and we're just gonna like throw our fist in the air and just go.
So Sherman, what
I'm
do you think
picturing-
about this?
I'm
Everybody
picturing the
just
scene
started dancing.
from A Knight's Tale, where it starts out like very, like Keith Ledger's trying to like come up with a dance, and it's just very simple, and then all of a sudden it just breaks out, and everyone's just kind of like jumping around and fucking going crazy.
Stomp
Perfect.
it a little bit too. Stomp and clap a little bit. Loosens out.
Yeah, Agatha's gonna look up at them, fluttering around, and clap and laugh, and like cast a little bit of sparkles glittering
okay, I
around
see.
them.
Sherman said BRB, following along. Okay.
Are there any like broomsticks or anything around?
Nope. This is
Okay.
far too clean to have brooms laying around.
They probably use prestidigitation.
Yeah, this is like Disney level where they've got a whole
Go do
underground
shadow, do
take
Bollywood.
the trash
and
out and
yeah.
stuff.
All right. So in the time it takes for you guys to, get your dance on. Do. So you ordered 3 chalky milks, right?
Yeah, 3 of them. Whatever that most expensive drink that she was referring to was, and then something strong to fill the flask up with.
Which was that expensive one?
Hmm?
Oh wait, no, that's different. So yeah, she flutters out, and as she does so, she's holding her hand out as if there's a plate there, but there's actually nothing there, save for maybe a glimmer or sparkle that would indicate maybe some kind of something. She's holding something, and there are all of the beverages nestled perfectly. Like it's such a smooth flight that the liquid doesn't even sway. And she flutters in front of you.
My goodness, you're incredible.
Like, so are you. Wink.
So I believe that the plan was for us to potentially open a tab, and I'm not entirely sure, but I'd have to refer to Master Kozik. But we might be potentially lodging at this establishment tonight. We're looking forward to the festival tomorrow.
As if she wasn't already, you know, perked up. The mention of this festival gets her even more excited. You know, and she's not holding the drinks anymore, and she claps her hands excitedly and flutters around. Not very befitting of a noble, but I mean, you know, sometimes you're just too excited to hide it. Like, the festival's gonna be so great. Like, you should go. Like, do you have somebody you want to go with?
I believe I'm gonna have to be escorting
Hey, why's the
Mr.
blip
Kozik
not
around.
playing?
However, you'd like to possibly join us. I don't see a problem with that.
Oh, it should play. Did it play? Did you hear the blurb?
Maybe you could show us around, because we've not been here, not only for the festival but at all. So having a friendly guide be nice.
Like, it would be my honor to take you. Wink.
All right. Well, I'll let Master Kozik know, and I won't wait too long to come back and see you. But I will carry these drinks back over. They're probably waiting. It was nice to have met you. What's your name? Probably should have asked her name way sooner.
You can call me Tiffany.
All right, Tiffany. It's a pleasure.
Don't be gone too long. Like, don't want to keep me waiting. And as she says that, and you probably start walking away, she just has her elbows on the countertop, just like, you know, like her hands buried in her face.
I'll
She's
before I
staring
grab the
longingly.
drink, I'll pull the note that she slipped me back out, and I'll just kind of like, hold it up a little bit and nod, and then put it back in my pocket, and just kind of one of those like boy little smirks as I grab the drinks and head back off to the table.
All right.
Go, Zedarian. Go.
All right, had to put a little bullet point in my notes there. Yeah, so you know, you go to a table, but at this point, when you finally get a moment to take a seat, you notice that rain is flying around with little raindrops. I don't know what you would call those illusions. Little rain,
Hey,
other rains.
we are all the same size. I'm doing the Miley Cyrus lyrics over here. I could take myself dancing and hold my own hand. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cha threw some sparkles around them, all four of them.
The wink that nobody
We may not be
gets.
great dancers, but we look good trying. All right.
I'm gonna make sure my blurps are working.
Is Zed putting the drinks on a table or like a bar top or what?
It sounded like Zed was going to the just sitting at a table, which he's pretty easy to spot. So
All right, all four of
It's-
us
it's
would
even-
fly down and just.
it's even more so easy to spot because he got the chalky milk. That stands out.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Mr. I forgot your name. Is which ones is for us?
Oh, I've got 3 chocolate milks. I got one for you, Got one for Sherman. Hopefully he enjoys
my
it. I
blips aren't working.
didn't get to ask him. And I got one for Miss Agatha.
How big is the cup that you got? Like the chocolate milk? I'm just asking.
Meant for a medium creature, so bigger than wait. Let's see, how tall are you
So-
again? You're
13
Probably literally
inches.
the size of you.
yep, the
13
size of
inches.
you, if not bigger.
All right. But since I
Wow.
have my multiform jutsu out, can I just collectively all four rains like try to raise the cup together and just dunk their heads in it and just
Wait,
I mean, they're
I mean,
illusions, so technically no. But
Oh, that's right. They are
Ah.
illusions.
try
Okay.
not to make a mess.
Fine, I'll just balance onto the rim and dunk myself forward and slurp it out like a deer does at a lake. How about them apples?
I think Zed's gonna unscrew
That's
his
what we're here
flask and just,
for.
like take a little swig out of it and screw it back on and put it in his pocket while he's just kind of glancing around to see if anyone is noticing this little pixie standing on the edge of a glass slurping up chocolate milk.
Probably, I get a mustache and everything from it, and I'm grinning up at you.
oh no, my blurps are not working. Sorry.
Can
I
I
don't know why-
take
Inconspicuous.
can I take a little piece of material out of my bag and make like a tiny little pool floaty?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
Set in
Oh,
it so Rain can float in his
adorable.
chocolate milk.
I would love to do that. I want,
Oh,
and I want to have it to where
like
like I'm sprawled out in it as it's like, and I want to like turn my head and just kind of, just slurp it from the side and just really relaxed and enjoying the sugar rush.
I'm picturing this and I feel like the best representation of this is just kind of like you would probably just pass off as like a drink ornament. You know how sometimes you get the tropical drinks and it comes with all
Yeah.
the extra shit on the I think
Totally.
people around would most likely just be like, "Oh, that's fancy."
Nice. I think the second that the Cha notices the drink is there, he's gonna like give a a look to Kozik to like lead them back to the table in whatever classical fancy dwarvish flair for ending a dance that he wants to do.
Bum ba-da-dum bum. Bum bum. And I bow slightly and
I don't
like,
know,
good
my
job,
blurps
good
aren't
job,
working.
Agatha.
No.
You hear clapping kind of start to murmur
Sorry, my
from,
blurps aren't working. I'll fix them later.
potentially under a table as Zed starts to clap and kind of like maybe like a very low kind of like whistle, just kind of, "Yeah, very well, very well."
Goodness, did people see that? Oh, how embarrassing.
What? You were great, Kozik.
Thank you.
Agatha
Thank
gives
you.
a curtsy
Where's
and and strolls back. Nobly.
Yeah, and then the party manages, you regroup. The soft harp music continues to play. Which, interestingly enough, you don't really notice anybody out there playing a harp. Just kind of
okay.
radiates throughout the building.
What was her name? Was it Tina? Is Tina standing in a corner somewhere?
Oh, is Tina? What happened to Tina? Because what's his name took off, right? But did Tina stay with us, or did she take off too?
I mean, you guys are kind of in a bar fight. You haven't
was
seen her
like-
since then.
She was taken in by their scam or whatever. She stayed with them.
So she's still with the guy.
You're not really sure.
Okay, so we just don't know what happened to Tina.
No.
That's a shame. Was an interesting character.
Well, for one, I examined my my drink and it certainly looks fancy. Smells nice. It's of uncommon clarity, I guess. But I don't quite know what it is, and I raise my glass kind of just to the bar in general and say, here's to Zareth, and here's to the Festival of Mirian. And take a swig.
I guess we'll all cheers. Zed'll cheers as well. Take a swig.
Huzzah!
To the Festival of Miriam! And then Cha looks at Zed. Zed? Is this what I think it is?
Hey, Miss Agatha, prepare to taste chocolate milk.
Ah. And you see Agatha's face just contorting with like pain and joy and fury and lust and tears welling up in their eyes. And it's just slowly like worshiping the moment, looking at the goblet, the setting, taking in the music, looking at everyone's in everyone's eyes, all of his friends around him, and smells it. A nice long smell, and then
Zed'll
takes
put
the
his hand
slightest
out,
sip.
like palm up on the table, kind of toward Cha, and he's just gonna rest it there as like a hand of support in case he needs it. And he's
Cha
gonna look at
totally
Cha.
takes the hand.
He's gonna look at Cha. He's, oh, yeah,
Yeah, my
prepare to be
audio's-
amazed, but be careful. You can do it.
Okay, okay. Cha takes the hand and sips it like it's the finest wine in existence and swishes it around in the mouth and like taking in every minute detail. It is reminiscent of when you first entered the material plane and you saw Cha down on his knees, crying, taking off his boots and just soaking up nature. But he's doing it with a goblet of chocolate milk.
with a curly straw.
Ah, even better.
Oh, Sherman's adding a little bit of nutmeg and
nice.
clove. Yeah.
Oh, come on, you guys. Ah,
Zed's just holding Cha's hand. It's all
Cha's hand
right.
is
You can
quivering.
just enjoy it for what it is.
Oh, it's better than I could have ever imagined. And he's
Zed'll kind of
just
Zed'll kind of
worshiping it.
just in case if people are looking around, Zed'll raise his voice a little bit. I know the festival's very exciting, Miss Agatha. We all can't wait for it. Good thing it's tomorrow, hey?
Tears are pouring out of Agatha's eyes. Yes. Sipping with trembling hands.
Meh.
Every now and again, just looking at the swirls of nutmeg and clove that are dancing around on top. Just the coolness, just everything. It's the epitome of what Cha was looking for, escaping the hell realms, right in front of everyone.
It is most
To the
definitely
last drop.
is most definitely a bullet point in Cha history, because not only is it chalky milk, but it is chalky milk from the most noblest of noble. So you even get a little bit of that undertaste of like, that what's it the aftertaste. Like even the aftertaste is godly. Like after you've already drank it, there's still like that little bit of chocolate that's in there, and it's just like, oh, this is just as good, just as good drinking it as it is just kind of letting it sit. Oh my god.
I was like, I'm getting chills. It's heavenly. It's heavenly.
Who's the third person that got it? Because he got one for Sherman. Yeah, it was Sherman. Sherman got the third one.
Thank you. Thank you. And I
Sherman's
think you
gonna
would notice that
style.
the illusion is definitely it's hard to maintain the illusion right now for Cha.
Sherman's just gonna take a drink and very confusedly kind of side eye and be like, "Something wrong with this?" He looks down at his drink.
Ooh, you know what? I'll even thank you, chat. We'll say one of the chocolate milks even has like cloud marshmallows.
Not bad.
I'll say that one Sherman's. Sherman got the cloudy marshmallow chalky milk.
I'm gonna be very, this is pretty good, but I'm gonna be kind of confused on the reaction because I don't know Cha, so I'm gonna be like, something wrong with mine.
Why is he so quiet?
No, there shouldn't be. Well, do you like? I wasn't sure what you like, Sherm, so I just got you one. Do you prefer something stronger? And he'll kind of grab his flask and gesture.
Just a little bit, and I'll hold it out. Hold the drink out.
I can
Are you
barely
further
hear you.
away from your mic? I can
Oh,
barely hear you.
sorry, I'm leaning back. Yeah, I'll say just a little bit and then hand it out. We'll make a White Russian.
All right.
Yeah,
Audio.
he'll let you do your thing.
I'll add the liquors to it and be like, all right, and then I'll imitate Cha's reactions. Well,
All right.
Like
Give me a
genuinely
performance,
or
I guess. I don't know.
sarcastically?
because I'm confused, but I think I'm like, I don't know if he's acting to keep up the nobility thing or not. So I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's the greatest drink I've ever had, and this is a wonderful establishment. Because Sherman, not knowing Cha, doesn't understand the reason why he's reacting.
Hey,
It's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty convincing.
I mean, it's good, but I'm confused. So to just go along with it.
Like somebody
I was
eating
like,
a.
I know, right? Is it your first time too? I mean, is it your first time too?
Ooh.
Not my first, but this is the best time.
Thank
like
you,
that, right?
Zed.
That's what I hear all the time.
I'll
It's-
never forget this, Zed.
As Zed looks over his shoulder and that fairy's still just like elbows on countertop, hands on cheeks, and she notices you peer over it and she waves.
Cha's like crying and like goes over and kisses Zed's cheek and hugs him and is crying. Thank you.
Absolutely, Agatha. I trust me. We'll be able to get some more chocolate milk.
She noticed that.
Zed's gonna kind of reach into his pocket, or hold on, I'll wait. Sounds like something might be happening.
No, continue.
Okay, Zed is gonna reach into his pocket, and he has the note in his hand. He hasn't looked at it yet, but he's gonna, now that everyone's having their drinks and we're all sitting around the table. So for the festival tomorrow, the very very sweet Pixie at the bar. Well, I basically offered if she might want to join us at the festival, maybe show us around, given we've not been here. Just throwing that out to you all, if don't want to make anyone uncomfortable.
That sounds great. I mean,
And she gave me this.
I kept intermingling
Like I said,
Pixie
she
and
was very
Fairy. Damn it.
sweet, and at this point, Zed's gonna open the note and like read it for the first time.
You got her digits
Okay, that's kind of what I thought.
with little kissy lips on it.
He'll kind of like just lay it flat on the table so that everyone could potentially notice it. And she did seem quite fond of me.
Oh. Are you quite fond of her?
You know, it's been quite some time since I've had any sort of interaction like that, and I got a bit of the fuzzies.
Oh,
Fuzzies.
I don't want to be
Zed.
inappropriate or, maybe assuming, but yes, she's very pleasant.
Inappropriate
good to
has
have a
its time
local
and
guide.
place.
My chair is so
that?
creaky.
Inappropriate has its time and place.
You're not wrong. But it was more or less, I just wanted to pose that. We might have a bit of a tour guide tomorrow.
So,
That's good to me.
I must say
you
from
present
my
this. Oh, sorry, go on.
good. No, good.
I was just saying, at this point, you notice like people sort of starting to clear out a little bit. That was all.
I'm just gonna offhandedly ask, right, in the middle of just kind of floating in my chocolate milk pool, right, in my little floaty ring, and just be like, wait, who was inappropriate?
Oh no. So there's a pixie at the bar.
Pixie or
named-
fairy?
It's a fairy. I think I
I'm gonna
kept
no. I
intermingling.
want him to answer
Was
in
it a fairy?
character.
Okay.
Cool.
Was it a fairy or a pixie? Just for clarification.
It's a fairy.
Okay. Okay. I was picturing pixie the whole time. Good to know.
But would Zed know?
Would Zed know?
Most likely
That's a
not.
good question.
No, he wouldn't know the difference. But the bartender, his name's Tiffany. Seemed like we might have hit it off a bit.
Oh, that big gal over there.
Yeah, the one
How big is Tiffany, by the way?
Like
I
2
don't think we
feet.
really got a description of Tiffany outside of just the swooning.
How big is a fairy anyway? Yeah.
Aren't they? I think that was the.
They're
Just
like 3
like-
feet tall.
Yeah,
2
they're
to
like 3
3.
feet tall. Which is weird
Not a
for a
3
fairy.
foot.
That's like a huge fairy. That's like a monstrous fairy.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like dwarf
that's kinda
sized.
Yeah, fairies are typically 3 to 4 feet tall.
Cool.
Not to be confused with pixies or sprites. Okay,
So
or
that
brownies.
I was
Sorry,
gonna say something,
sure.
and it was gonna sound really bad, and I'm not gonna say it.
But yeah, so
Anyway, so that's Tiffany.
yeah.
How was she being inappropriate? I mean, what she say? You smell bad or something?
No, you might have there was a bit of, I would say, obvious flirtation going on.
Did I
And
not
I was
describe
saying
her? Damn
I
it.
don't want to be inappropriate by assuming that was her intention. But Shaw, Agatha was asking
Oh,
if I, was interested in her as well, and I was just saying it's been a long time, but I kind of got the fuzzies.
What's the fuzzies?
You remember when you were talking about like
Yeah, I mixed up the drinks.
like the what was it? Oh no, it wasn't you. We had just learned about God. We had just learned about like friendly fingers or something like that.
oh,
And
the
sounds-
fuzzy fingers.
it's,
That was
it's
Fletch.
almost something. Yeah, it's almost something kind of like that, except for without
Oh, that
the
sounded weird.
physical part. You just
That's
kind of
okay.
feel it in your
We'll roll with
gut.
it.
Oh, we got words for that here. And first of all, the whole flirty kind of thing. I know, you big folk coming from the material planes and all that. You get a little, topsy turvy here, and that's fine. But that's just being fake. You know what I mean? That's just being friendly.
Also, I was looking at the wrong
Aw.
notes for the beverages, but I'm gonna roll with what I got right now.
Okay. I
But-
do.
The TLDR, when you
I
look at
do-
the menu, the beverage names are the Lifted Pinky, the High Chin, and the Fantastic Frolickers, and Elegance Incarnate. and the prices for
Which is-
those were up to 10 gold at the most expensive.
I don't have any
Okay,
money.
good. I was gonna say because I tried to ask, but I am aware out of character that I did not get how expensive they were. So I was really hoping we weren't gonna go back to check our tab. It was like, all right, sweetie, you owe us 1,000 gold.
Nice.
Um,
So you plan on pursuing this Peggy?
What?
Stacy?
Peggy?
Peggy the
Wait.
Pixie.
It's Tiffany.
Tiffany?
Brain.
Sorry.
This is a great other planar romance going on. Remember the names.
I'm sorry. It's just whenever I get this much sugar in my system, I didn't know he's going to order me a whole mountain of chocolate milk. I thought I was just getting a little cup.
I
I'm
guess
not
we should
complaining. I'm
remember
sorry. I'm not
that.
sorry.
We should remember they have probably different sizes for different
You don't
creatures.
look a gift horse in the mouth. That's what my mom always used to say. So
A thimble of chocolate milk.
I actually didn't think to ask.
you know, a thimble
Uh,
would have been good. Maybe two thimbles. Some on a good
Or
day, I
some-
can have two thimbles.
Ah.
Right.
Noted.
So yeah, I mean, at this point in the evening, people have pretty much started clearing out. Tiffany, in which you finally get a moment to, I don't know, observe what she was actually wearing. She was wearing sort of similar, like a nice vest, not really a bow tie. She had like this long white hair with like all sorts of like glitter. It looks like glitter in it. There's actually some braids in here and there too, like not all just long hair, long straight hair, and very butterfly like wings of varying degrees of colors you would imagine a butterfly to be. But yeah, people are clearing out.
Yeah, Zed. Way to have some good Fey wild relations.
I like to think I'm friendly. So,
Maybe we should get 2 rooms tonight then?
well, now that you mention it, what are we planning on staying here? I think we were leaving that decision up to be made once we got here. Also, you said people are clearing out
No.
cubes, but like, what time is it roughly? Do you know?
I
Or
mean,
would we know?
Probably akin to like 6 or 7 in the evening now.
Oh.
Yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum.
We possibly ask if they've got a food menu and maybe ask for some rates of rooms, or what are you all thinking?
Are
Rain
any of-
and Sherman, do you know do you know this place at all?
I don't sleep, so I can't help with that.
I
Oh.
love sleeping, but I'm from the Autumn Glades. It ain't this district of the Feywild. If you get what I mean.
Ah. Well, that sounds like a good idea, Zed. Could ask about room rates and whatnot. Sounds
But
like you might have your own little rendezvous. Wink, wink.
Mr. Zed, if you yes need somebody to deny entry to your door, I can do that for you.
A
well,
horse,
all
a
right, I can-
horse-shaped door block.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a bouncer for our doors of whatever if we stay here.
That horse never deserved that. Anyway,
What a kind offer.
And what oh, why did I blank on the name now? Anyway, no one else knows that reference outside of people that played Atlas. Heimdall.
Mm-hmm.
I used anyway. Yeah, so Zed'll close his flask, put his flask away, And would
So we're gonna switch scenes.
would
in a
I, if I was
second.
going to ask about rooms, would I go to that initial human that we came across? I mean, I could obviously go ask Tiffany.
I mean, you got the feeling that he's basically the guy who announces people. Like his whole job is
He's
just
just
the
the
announcer.
doorman.
Yeah.
All right.
John
So yeah.
elbows Zed. Go talk to Tiffany some more.
All right. All right. Now you're getting me all nervous. But no,
He's like a total
stand up
yenta right
and
now.
Wait. I got some tips for you.
oh, yeah.
When you present yourself to her, make sure to hold your pinky up. They really like it.
Oh
Okay.
wait, come here,
Hey.
come here, Mr. Zed.
Yep.
And I'm gonna pull out of my spice bag a bit of citrus zest, and I'm gonna sprinkle it in the collar of his shirt.
Oh.
There you
Yeah,
go.
all
Now
right.
you're ready.
All right. You see,
Yeah, you
like
s-
you,
I'll tell you
You
what. If you were
smell
just 5
smooth.
feet shorter, me and you, right? That could have been a thing.
Zed, Zed- at this point, Zed just feels so full of himself. He like winks at Rain. He's got like a little pep in his step, and he just, you know, he's more or less like what would be a good word for he's sauntering over to the bar at this point
Oh, what
to
is a
go ask
word?
Wants to get
Tiffany
in
about
Zed's pants tonight.
room rates.
Threading.
Can I hand
Oh, yeah.
him my hammer for him to hold the head of and use it as a cane, to like a swagger cane as he
Oh
walks?
man, he's pimping now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting out of hand.
Pimp Zed.
She's
on,
gonna be
buddy.
like, "You're not who I thought you were."
Like the episode of The Office when Michael goes on a date.
Right.
Puts on his hat.
So yeah, Zed will go ask. He'll go try and find information about room rates, whether that's from Tiffany or he'll ask Tiffany like who he needs to talk to about getting a room or
Date
two.
said.
What?
Good message.
So you go over to Tiff. She just seems to be sitting there. There haven't really been anybody else coming in since you guys came in, so she notices your approach and flutters up. And you ask, how much is a room here?
I believe Master Kozik has decided to stay at the establishment. If we were to get a room for him and then maybe a separate room for his entourage and things like that, what would be the process of doing that? Would I speak with you, or how would I go about doing that, Mrs. Tiffany?
Like, you would talk to me. I'm the lucky
Perfect.
girl tonight, aren't I?
Oh, it seems like I'm the lucky one.
Oh,
Ooh,
stop it.
smooth.
So if we were going to get 2 rooms, let's say, what would that run us, including the tab that we've already opened, obviously?
So that would like run you like, I'll give you like a discount because you guys are so cool. 14 gold would be right now. I'd say, yeah, like totally. Like 14 sounds about right. And the other fairy that's like fluttering around just sort of looks at her with like this narrow eye, like, what?
Nice.
And she turns around and notices and just waves them off.
I don't want to impose or get you into trouble or anything like that. As Zed will take out a coin purse and just kind of lay it on the counter without grabbing any coin or anything like that, but just kind of showing that he has the coin for it.
Oh no, don't worry about it. I can't get in trouble if I'm the one that owns this place.
Oh, my mistake. I did not.
Nice.
Pleasure to be in your establishment, Tiffany.
It's a pleasure to have you in mine, in more than one way, I guess. Wink.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go let them know that we've got some rooms in order. Is is there anything that we would have to do prior? We might be maybe trying to get some food or something like that before
It's all a part of
turning in for
it.
the
It's
evening.
all part of the tab and all that. Don't worry about it. I got
Oh,
you taken care of. It's kind of my thing.
right, and you are wonderful at your job, Miss Tiffany.
She blushes again, kind of tries to hide her face.
Well, I'm gonna go let them know that we've got some rooms, and hopefully, I will see you soon.
Hopefully.
Zed will walk back to the table.
Did you remember to pinky out? And I'm gonna throw my pinky high into the air.
At this point, Zed's just kind of like he'll try to be nonchalant, but he'll just be like, make those gestures of like, "Get it out."
Chaw's gonna smile, a mischievous smile, and be like, "I think he got his pinky out all right. I mean, his pinky out all right."
It's just between us. It's a very formal gesture here in the Feywild. It's cursy. It's like holding a door open for someone as they walk inside.
What are some of the what are some of the other mating rituals of the Feywild, Rain?
Mating ritual.
Yeah.
Why do you want to know about mating? This ain't nothing to do with mating. This is just being a good solid person.
Zed's gonna sit down, and without really changing the expression on
Oh.
his face,
He
it
sounds
might
just
have
cool, I
something to
know.
do with mating. And he's just gonna almost like you don't really see this look on Zed's face as like a shallow nervousness. He's just gonna look at Rain very seriously, expecting for them to have some more insight or information.
Yep. And basically, while you guys are having this conversation, there might be one or two people that come in, but they immediately just get rooms for the night and just kind of go up the stairs. Or disappear, I should say, because you haven't seen any stairs yet.
Oh.
We do have 2 rooms. I'm not sure how we want to split those up. And apparently food is also going to be included. So no worries about that. And well, apparently Miss Tiffany is the owner of this establishment.
Oh. So, will you be sharing a room with us tonight, Zed? Wink.
I
Or
quite possibly might just leave that up to Miss Tiffany. And he's gonna kind of glance over his shoulder.
A smile and a wave from the distance.
well done, Zed.
So he's gonna almost like sheepishly, he's gonna pull his flask back out, and he's before he can even say anything, or he's got so many things running through his head right now. He just kind of to shut himself up. He's just gonna take a big old swig from his flask.
Well,
Alright.
cousin, it's you and me. And Chaw takes Kozik's arm, starts heading up or heading wherever we need to head. Sounds like there's no stairs.
So you walk up to, where Tiffany is. And, you represent your room. She's pretty clearly able to see who is a part of Zed's group. And she just waves a hand to the side and to the, because you're facing this way. So effectively to your right against the wall It's almost like these stairs just sort of materialize in front of you. Almost as if they've been there this whole time, but just hidden or not visible. Very illusory, so it doesn't interfere with the ambiance of the room. Lots of tentacles.
Classy, classy.
Like, I know. Tell me about it. It's my idea.
Tiffany, your establishment is the greatest.
That's why it's mine.
Say, Madam Tiffany, this is my cousin, okay? Just so you know.
Man, what nobles do in
Absolutely.
their time is their business. We are in the Feywild after all.
That's
Uh,
that's disturbing, Madam Tiffany, but thank you for your hospitality.
She
Good job
nods.
making it weird, Kozik.
I didn't make this weird.
As you're having this conversation going up the stairs.
I'm gonna
So-
sign and face sign language to Tiffany. They're not cousins.
She just puts hands in the air and shrugs. Meh.
Do they have any like napkins or anything on the?
Oh yeah, there's
table?
very nice like table napkins with the embroideries.
Good. I'm
Of
gonna
a pinky,
come
like
out
a
of
little
the,
hand with a pinky in the air.
I'm gonna get a I'm gonna get out of my little chocolate milk pool and I'm gonna like towel off with a napkin and then just kind of wrap it around myself like from chest height all the way down to like my knees, right? And just wear the napkin out.
Like a towel getting out of the pool.
Yeah.
Cool.
You gotta join in with the awkwardness of everything happening on the stairs right now.
So Sherman, are you also?
I'm just gonna move to the top of the stairs in Century's Rest and stand at the top of the stairs as if like secret service to the noble.
All right. So when you get upstairs,
Did you stay in your Asimar form, or are
Yep.
you? Okay, gotcha.
so when you get to the
Super
top of the
cool.
stairs, for the two of you that kind of went up there first, there's actual hallways with murals, paintings. There's even like vases on like these stands, like all sorts. Like there's even like busts of, who knows who these people are. And you look at a little, because you realize now that a little key ring is sort of materialized in your hands.
Oh.
Mostly just one key because you only got like one room for you. But it actually has the number which matches a door, and the doors they go sequentially, so it's pretty easy to find it. But it's still very, very nice, very clean. There's like nice red carpeting in here with all sorts of like little patterns in it. Like there's
Fancy.
chandeliers lining the entirety of this hallway. And yours is kind of like at the end of the hallway.
I guess I'll do my sentry outside of their door. That makes more sense.
Yeah. And so you pretty much unlock the door and click, click, it goes. It opens up. And it opens into this room that makes no sense whatsoever how large it is. But it opens up into like this huge area. There's like, it's almost like walking into somebody's house. It's actually, imagine Dale's house. It was maybe a enclosure intended for one, maybe two people. Like you could easily have a family in here and still have plenty of elbow room. So, and when you walk in, you're greeted by this huge living room. There's like couches, like really cushy looking couches. There's like chairs that also have this really nice like red plush. And this is just the front room. Like you can clearly see, like there's a hallway that leads to like a bedroom. There's a little area that, not really detached, but there's a clear boundary that marks like there's like a little kitchen over here. Like this place is, this is nice. This is spacious. This is nice. It's open. There's chandeliers. You even notice that there's this like sort of what looks like a tiny levers against the wall that when you flick them, the chandeliers turn on and off.
Fantasy dimmer switches.
This is
But
quite a nice room. This is as luxurious as the halls of Alkmaar.
Alkmaar, eh? Cha turns back into Cha. Oh, Alkmaar. That sounds kind of cool.
oh yeah, and the billiard table. Why not? Throw a billiard table in there somewhere. Chat
Sport.
suggestions. You can thank chat for the billiard table. Continue.
That was amazing. Good job out there, Kozik. You know what you're doing on that dance floor. Ah, chocolate milk. This place is just the land of dreams.
It can't last, can it? This is almost too good to be true.
I mean, there's a festival tomorrow. It's just going to keep going. And everybody's so relaxed.
I
And
hope they get to
it's
the
like
festival.
they're carefree here. I've never seen anything like it. A city where people walk around like they're not going to potentially have their souls ripped from their beings and be pushed into utter servitude for all of eternity.
It is
Are
a
you
nice
all right?
place.
Sorry. Oh, Rain. By the way, this is my true form. My name is Cha. It's very nice to meet you.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I've been confused with all the people. First, I met this one ginger woman, and then there was Agatha, and now there's Cha.
Well, I'm a bit of a magician.
Oh, really? What kind of tricks you got? Is it? By the way, what's the bed situation like in here again?
Double beds, mints on pillows, very nice covers. The
I want to take the
smoothest
biggest
cloths,
bed,
and they even have
and I want to use the mint as a pillow. It's not good.
yeah, and they even have like those curtains that you can like lay over around the bed. That kind of elegance.
Cha says, "I'll sleep on that," and he points to the billiard table.
It looks awful comfortable. I'm just gonna sleep on it. I'm just gonna be sleeping on the pillow, using the mint as my own pillow, right?
Yeah, you're used to
Aw.
sleeping on mints.
Yeah. Sometimes you drool a little bit in your sleep, but then like it gets all sugary and it's fine, right? And I'm gonna look over and just be like, so where you say you're from a place where what it sounds awful, child. What kind of the things you're describing are just
Oh, well,
you're all from
I
this horrible spot?
no, just me. This place, this land, it's quite lovely,
Oop, little laggy there.
interesting, colorful. Well, I come from a land where it's very dark and filled with heat and pain. Creatures constantly battling one another for higher status and
Make sure I have the appropriate.
manipulation.
There it is.
And well,
Sounds
I got
horrible.
away from it.
I'm
It's
glad
pretty
you
bad.
did.
Got
Maybe you
away.
can stay here, right? If things are a little more better for you.
I like it. I like these places we've gone to. I mean, we've gotten into some scrapes and some of
Making
my
sure my
kinsmen
maps are
from
loaded
back there
properly.
have obviously infiltrated all of the realms so far that I've been to. But still, It's sweet. We've met interesting
9,
beings,
10.
made lots of friends like you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just meet even more interesting friends. What do you think? Would that be fun? Maybe
Love
tomorrow.
it.
Oh, you're staying for the get together, right? The festival, fair, carnival.
Yeah, do you know
There might be a
what is
parade.
it? They say it Miriam Fest or something like that.
Yeah,
They
it's that once upon a time the Sealy court kind of ruled all of everything, right? Some people misbelieve and they think that, between the domains of like there's the delight, and then the domains of mischief, and there's the domain of sugary desserts, and there's all sorts of Feywilds, right? And the Sealy court was kind of the biggest of all the honchos there. And what they did was this town right here, they liberated themselves from the oppressive rule of the court, and so they celebrate their independence every year, and that'll be tomorrow. It's the perfect place to go if anybody royal is kind of looking for you, right? As we were kind of talking about earlier.
All right. So the Sealy Court is after you.
Well, I mean, it's part of the Sealy court, right? There's a whole bunch of like segments. There's like an umbrella of
Uh-oh.
authority, and it just kind of trickles down.
Connecting the chat.
And
Uh-oh.
definitely in the Autumn Glade, it's the Candy Cane Court, which is a subsection of the Sealy. And it's definitely old Lord Peppermint's been getting his guys looking for me.
Cha looks over at Kozik, and back at Rain, and says,
What delay is this?
What dealings do you have with the Unseelie Court?
What's
Okay,
an
not a big delay.
Unsealy?
Oh, you haven't heard about the Unseelie.
Nuh-uh.
Oh, fascinating. Well, apparently they're, and then I remember I had done like a history check on the Unseelie Court to be able to explain to Kozik his patron's name and like all of that stuff. So how much of the actual like politics would I know about the Unseelie Court versus the Sealy Court and all that?
Oh, you knew all of it because I remember, when you did that history check, you thought back to it, and all I had to do was be like, here's all the information on them.
Yeah. So Cha would kind of relay what he knows about the Unseelie, what he's heard and read about his library back in hell, and its relation to the Sealy
Oh,
Court.
so you're talking about the Gloamin' Fae there, huh?
Oh,
What with
Gloman.
their
Yes.
wild hunts and their nightmares and
Yeah,
Yes,
that sounds about right.
I think
Huh.
that there's a queen that shall not be named, and all sorts of
why wouldn't you name her?
well, I think she's of such dreadful aspect, and it's difficult for the mind of a living creature to comprehend. And there's something about a giant black diamond. It's
Oh.
very comforting, but
Does any of that ring a
Did not
bell,
work.
Rain?
I mean, it does, but we ain't from that neck of the woods, It sounds like you're talking about that
Need to
Arc
change the scene.
Fae Queen of Air and Darkness, maybe.
J-
I've heard about it in books, but I ain't gonna say her name. I won't say her name.
yes,
I,
frankly, the name is quite difficult to pronounce for
it's
most
impolite.
tongues. Well, yes.
That's what you're kind
That's
of expressing to
unfortunate.
me, that you don't want to hear it, so I don't want to say it. I don't want to offend nobody, and especially not my new friends that I just made, who have the means to buy folks whole swimming pools that you can drink out of. And these giant mansion of a room. Look how big this place is. I'm used to about like a 2x2 or a 3x3 kind of quarters, right?
Oh,
This
they
place is
must have
massive.
quarters specifically for sprites too.
But hey now,
Gosh,
you call me a sprite?
are you a sprite or a
No,
fairy? What?
no.
What is your people called?
Sir, I'm a pixie.
A pixie. Sorry. Gosh.
That's all right.
I-
Sprites are. I could get
I'm
my.
new to
My
all
mama
this.
always says I acted like a sprite. I know what you mean. I'm not actually offended by it. Some of my best friends are sprites.
I don't know what I mean.
Sprites are a little more rambunctious. They're a little more. They
Oh.
got that warrior spirit in them, and I do like to get in a little bit of a mischief like that, right? Pixies got a little more regality to
Wonder
them,
why that
and
would
then
be
fairies,
there.
they're the bigger of the betwixt the three of us. They're the ones that are about. Now you've seen some of them 3 or 4 times my size, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna switch the camera on over for a second. So Sherman, you're just sort of standing guard, right? It sounded like. So we know he's sentry resting. Okay. So that leaves us with Zed. What's Zed doing? You got 2 rooms.
I don't think I want to hear it. No.
Is that out of character or in character or both?
I'm not
So-
sure.
So, all right, not to get too far into it, but Zed would be waiting
Don't worry, we're
at the bar.
streaming.
Yeah. Zed, right. Zed would be just waiting at the bar, seeing that everyone's, kind of going upstairs. I will say OOC, I got the 2 rooms not intending I got the 2 rooms for basically the rest of the party to share 2 rooms because I was somewhat assuming that I would be staying in a different room, that I would not necessarily be renting a room to stay with the owner of the establishment.
Yeah, she has a
Um,
situation.
I'm assuming. So if that changes things, how y'all want to split the rooms up and things like that. But Zed would be waiting at the bar, waiting for things to kind of close down, and I guess effectively waiting for Tiffany to be off work.
Close
So-
down in order to close the deal.
So, I mean, she's starting to close some things down, but there's still a lot that has to be done, which at that point you realize the other individual, this other pretty nicely dressed fairy also still working. But she kind of seems like she's getting off the clock, as it were. So, like, if you want to hang out or something, like, we'll have a lot of time tomorrow. But I'm gonna be. I gotta get to sleep a little bit early because there's like stuff I gotta do for the fair tomorrow.
Oh, you gotta like set things up.
I'm like, yeah, because like we're gonna try and have ourselves look a little bit fancier. So I'm gonna like get up a little bit early and try and get some decorations done because like totally.
Of course, absolutely.
I mean, you're like more than welcome to like come with if you want. Like, I'm not gonna say no. But I also wouldn't want to be like putting you to work or anything. I mean, not in that way anyway. Wink.
I don't mind helping out. I'm I'm around, so might as well.
She claps her hands and flutters happily. Well, like, if you want to like come to my place, then like, totally. Like, I'm down. I mean, I'm just gonna be going to sleep a little bit early, but like, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be more than happy to accept your invitation. I can potentially help out to close out the bore or anything like that, just to make it easy for you.
That's not even like something I have to worry about. Like, that's why I have him here. And she points to this other fairy that's like putting stuff away and, pulling out coin and counting it and sort of stashing it. Like, you realize that they close, sort of, kind of, but not completely, because people still got to come in and people still come in throughout the day. And this is a tavern and inn, so somebody's got to be here. Like, if you want to come with me, then And she twirls her little finger in the hair.
Absolutely. And Zed will kind of reach his hand out. But before doing so, like as he's reaching his hand out, he'll kind of have a pinky lifted before he turns it palm up to try and take her hand.
Smooth.
She notices that, and she's almost taken aback. I didn't even... Oh, wow. You've got a lot of skills I didn't even know about. Like, oh my.
Oh, speaking of skills, have you ever heard of a mage hand?
Several.
Well,
So she takes your pinky, and for purposes of fast forwarding, because it is getting a little bit late. Yeah, you go to her house, which is
don't fast forward. Sorry. Okay.
well,
okay.
the devil's in the details.
I was picturing
my
the
heart.
last
My
sort
heart
of-
is beating faster.
I was picturing the last sort of statement before you just almost see Zed and Tiffany kind of leave off in the distance. Would just be Zed mentioning, so are you familiar with the mage hand? Just for imagination purposes.
Leaving it all to the imagination. So
The
you
things he can
you
do
go
with
with
that hand.
Steamy. Steamy.
Remember to rehydrate if it's getting that steamy for
Here we
you.
go. I'm playing this music.
All right. So essentially,
Love making
you are, she leads you to
music.
her home, and it's a lovely evening. However, you may choose to interpret that. I'll leave that to the player to interpret that one.
I will say,
so I'm leaving that in your hands.
How
Sorry.
far is that from the inn?
Maybe like 5-10 minute, walk, I should say, because for them, she could just fly. So more of a 10-minute walk for you.
Oh my god. Okay.
'Cause
I just wanted to know how far I was going to be from the party.
Yeah. All right. So Zed has his evening, however he may choose to interpret that. Rest of the party, you guys just kind of winding down for the evening, get hyped for the festival tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to
Since
go
it's
to a
pretty-
shop or something. Or
okay.
earlier tomorrow.
All right.
So I was thinking, since it's early in the evening, that Cha would like to take a short rest before going to sleep to finally figure out what that merkin is actually about.
Hold on, I have to go through my loot list.
You might need to loan the merkin to Zed with what's happening.
Oh yeah. Oh, I just want to make sure it's not like horribly cursed before we start using.
I gotta sit through my loot. I'll get that in a second.
Cool.
So if everybody does their delightful little rest, Cha does a little bit of taking time to investigate the beard. And Kozik, give me a quick little wisdom save, because I have another one here.
Save. All right, let's do it.
Oh.
And this time it's going to be with disadvantage because of a save prior that you did not.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Not bad.
Ooh, wow, a disadvantage.
Okay, a 9 and a 14. All right. Well, that's good because the worst doesn't happen. Cool.
Oh, wow.
So, everybody, it's a new dawn, it's a new day. For some of you, well, specifically
But
for
how are you
Zid.
feeling?
Oh, you guys are feeling
Good?
great. Yeah. Because I was
Besides
going to say,
finishing
you
your
guys
licks.
start to wake up to the sounds of the crowd starting to muster, maybe some music playing off in the distance. Maybe not like full blown music, but like the very start of a fair beginning
My spell
activity.
has worn off, and I am not going to put it back on when we go back down the stairs.
Yep, that's fine. Zed would technically be the first to get up because Tiff does indeed have a lot of decorations to put up. She also would have gone around and chit-chatted with some of the folks setting up the fairgrounds. Just kind of like she is not really the person putting on the fair, but she knows people and she's just kind of helping them out. So you would be up early, at least observing, all the people she's meeting and whatnot. There's a lot of people she knows.
Ah.
Yeah, I was thinking of planning of like being up early, like you're saying, helping set things up. What it was like, build a stage or certain things. Going around
We're
and
about to switch
you know
scenes at last.
helping with the haze,
festival.
highs, hellos. But at some point, mentioning to Tiffany that I was gonna walk back and meet up with the party. But planning on bringing the rest of the party back so that she could officially show us around.
No problem, sweet thing.
All right, I'll see you soon.
And before she even really gets to say anything, like somebody taps her on the shoulder and more business talk, fair things.
Oh, I can feel the chemistry. It's good stuff.
But yeah, so you spent about the same time when the rest of the party wakes up is when you finally start heading back. So
Perfect. Okay.
the rest of the party wakes up with, you wake up and you're just fine. Nothing seems off at all. Nope. Nothing at all.
Okay.
Except for the fact that when Kozik wakes up, there's a very familiar looking teddy bear staring him in the eyes. Just laying on its side,
Oh no.
beady little eyes just looking into his.
No.
How did you get back here? Huh. Well, I examine it. Does it look like it's the same bear?
It's the exact same bear.
Well, you'll be a nice corsage for our our day at the festival here. And I pick him up and kind of look at him, and I try to, affix him to my front like before.
It sits there, very unassuming, very unmoving and lifeless.
Have a little wonder of, what happened to that young girl? How come she doesn't have this anymore? Oh well.
And as you're pondering that, you can hear like drums beating off in the distance. Like music is not necessarily like full blown music, but maybe a little bit of marching through the streets. In announcement of the fair to Miriam.
Dude, if Cha sees that, he is absolutely going to starts shaking a little bit as he sees the bear who he watched Kozik give it away now on his person again.
Are you
Out of
sure it's that bear?
nowhere.
That doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah. Are you sure that's the same bear? I don't know.
I was like doing, upside down push-ups against the wall and sees that and crumbles to the ground and starts hyperventilating. Kozik? Is that what I think it is?
Be the same bear. The Feywild has done something strange, and now it's back with me. I could have sworn I gave it to that young child.
You did!
No, it doesn't seem that sinister. I can see you're a little concerned, but
I love it.
it's here now, so I guess I'll just keep it.
No, I don't know how you can be so nonchalant about that thing.
We need a cleric.
I think it'll
great.
bring us good luck. It's just a feeling I have.
And Cha's just gonna shake his head vehemently while Kozik goes about his business, absolutely not caring about the
Hey, it seems normal.
totally normal.
All right. So Rain, Sherman. Well, Rain would have woken up. You know what? Rain, would you have drooled on the? Is your hair disheveled and stuck to your little mint, or is it a?
Yeah, it's one of those things. This is a common
Oh.
issue that pixies have, honestly, where like you wake up and then you kind of smack in your lips and you realize half of your hair has melded into the mint you slept in because of the drool, and it just liquefied a little bit. And so I have to like peel my face off of the candy, right? And like a little shard of like hair comes with it, and it's just like, ow, just a little bit.
Oh,
And then I got to go about my morning routine of fluffing it. Actually, I'm gonna fly downstairs and looking for anybody who knows prestidigitation. Do I see any magical folk? They could act like I'm just gonna imagine. I'm just gonna carry the mint with me. The mint's like bigger than my head. Basically, it's right around head size. So I'm just gonna leave it stuck there, and just kind of
Yeah.
like you would at a hotel, right? I'm gonna go down and look for somebody who can help me with this issue.
All right. Roll me a d20, and if it's below 10, no, and if it's above 10, sure.
Which
Bottom
check
right,
again?
there's like a little d20.
Oh, just a regular D20.
Yeah, just a regular. Just a, it's a flip of the coin, basically.
Ciao.
Happy tree friends organized. So you flutter down with this like mint stuck to your head. Maybe it throws you off a little bit because it's stuck to your hair and you're not used to this extra weight. You look around, you don't really notice anybody that holds a air of arcane knowledge. Tiffany's definitely not there though.
I'm looking around. I can't find anybody that might be able to do this. I'm still like, I'm doing like a yawn, but my head is like just almost at this point continuously like cocked to the right a little bit from the weight of
I
the
really
mint,
wish
right?
I had fair
And I'm
music.
not like distressed or anything. This is still just a typical Tuesday morning, right? I'm just gonna. Is there a window I can fly out or anything?
Oh,
If
there's
not,
a few. Yeah.
all right, or maybe are there any like smaller doors aside from the I don't want to have to grab a giant door. You know what I mean?
So you flutter over
They
to a
should have
window.
Well, would they have accommodating door sizes? Is what I'm asking.
Well, the doors are meant for medium, but I'm just asking: are you interacting with a window and or a door to see if you can?
I would interact with a window if there's not a. I'm just saying,
Okay.
in this Feywild realm, it wouldn't be too far fetched to be like, oh, here's the regular door, and then here's one that's just like 2 feet tall that people use
Well,
like a side entrance, right?
I was gonna say, like when you touch
Or
a
doggy
window,
door.
it just opens. You don't have to lift it or
Okay.
anything.
All right, I'm gonna touch the window and it opens, and then I'm just gonna flutter out and I'm just gonna call out, "Hey, is anybody can get this out of my hair?"
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
Lo and
See
behold,
what
the
kind-
peppermint gang was there and waiting. No.
Let's see what kind of NPC Cube can come up with on the spot.
And so you are okay. Yes, what can I do for you? As you notice, there is a hold on, let me roll on this chart now.
Yeah, describe them.
I'm about to.
I
As
love
I
that
could
you were
actually
in
roll
the
this.
room with someone that knew
Okay, that was lag.
Wait, who? Who was I in the room
That's
with?
right. That's
Team
right.
Kovic.
I don't know them.
I was thinking the same thing. I thought you did it for Flair or something. Like didn't he do it to you
Oh, he
before?
might
No,
have.
he did it. He did it to Elrune, and so
Yeah.
technically,
Oh, that's
Oh,
I was
right.
just thinking about it. Like Rain
Okay.
wouldn't know, but it's
Good
just funny in
call.
hindsight.
Ah, shoot, I lost the voice I was gonna use.
I want to say I still
How
got
you going
pajama
walking around?
bottoms and everything on. I'm like
Yes, how can I
topless,
help?
Fucking
but I've got like some
wrapped in a
flannel
Blusteries.
pants.
napkin,
Yeah,
Blustery eyed.
Oh, I'm getting a little bit of
like a
lag there.
hotel towel.
yeah.
Yes,
You
how can
didn't
I help
ask any of
you?
us first before going out
And
there
you
to do
notice this voice is coming from a tiny little bird with a fancy vest on.
Oh, hot dog. Like Robin
that.
Hood kind
Oh,
of.
Yeah, like a little
What kind of
sparrow.
hat they got?
Let's see, what kind of hat should I have you have? It'll be a nice frilled hat.
What about instead of a feather in that hat, because that could be demeaning to birds? Maybe they got like some skin flakes in there or something.
Yeah, I'm also getting a little bit of lag, so meh.
I don't know, or like a strip of raw hide, or like with a cow print on it. I don't know. Like if we put feathers in our hats, what would birds put in their hats, right?
a human ear.
It's got just a tuft of fur. There you go. Yes, how can I help you? You need press. Do you what do you need? You said you needed some cleaning. I am quite elegant when it comes to cleaning. I can clean you very well. Clean.
Yeah, you look real clean. Look, if you could see, there's a mint in my hair, and today's Tuesday, isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah, Mama says you can't cut your hair on a Tuesday. It's bad luck. So there ain't no way I can cut this bad boy out. Plus, my hair's kind of my best feature. I don't know if you notice. I'm gonna flutter my eyes at this bird and just be like, if you know some kind of way to get this out without ripping and tearing my hat out, like, I mean, if you want, you could probably lick it off. I just can't reach it because it's like so big. And I'm just gonna like, it's like, or maybe you got some magics. I know in the candy courts they got prestidigitations, and I thought maybe somebody out, because there's so many people out and about. I was just looking for anybody who could be helpful, and I looked at you and your dapper hat and your vest, and I just thought, now that's a bird who knows how to stay clean.
Hold on, I'm getting an image for you.
Tell
So
you what, if there's a bird bath around here, that would be right up my alley. I could just take a little dip and maybe soggy this thing up
Oh,
and just dissolve it.
that's
for those of you who know that image, no.
Ooh.
Just try not to starve.
What?
It's in the out of character.
Aw. Is that from Don't Starve Together?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes, here. Come here. Let me fix you. I will do it for free. Clean
well,
is what I
Nikki,
do.
I don't want you to do it for free. I'll tell you what, you do this for me and I'll do you a favor. What's something that you're needing? And I'm going to lean my head towards them so they can start working on it as we're talking.
Well, I have had my eye on this tiny little shiny thing in the fair, but no. And he starts to buff
no,
out his
keep
little
going.
wings and starts
Tell me
trying.
about it.
Well, I mean, there's this shiny coin that I've been eyeing, but I
What
can't
kind of
quite
coin?
get to it. Yeah, it looks, and he kind of describes a little, basically like a gold coin, but kind of looks like it has like a raven symbol on it.
Raven coin, huh? Where would you last see it at? Maybe I could try to track one down for you.
It was in one of those jars at the fair.
It's in a jar at the fair. Do you know what the booth was?
It was the one where there was a lot of food being set up. Yes, clean.
What kind of food? Your food or my food?
Their food.
Their food? Like fried foods with the powdered sugars on it?
No.
Oh, I could go for some of that.
Sometimes people would say creatures like myself would pick meat these off the ground. How, nah. And he just like cringes at the thought of, birds eating off the ground. Just, it's just not even fathomable. What?
Hey, there's a 5-second rule, and after that, there's the 10-second rule, but you have to lick it clean.
Or you can just
I'll go
utilize spells to make sure it's
like
clean.
what kind of
clean.
spell?
Like the one I'm about to cast on you. Come here.
Oh, cast it away, big boy.
And he pats your hair, and because he doesn't really have fingers, so it's more like head pats.
Mhm.
So he pats your hair, and then he like head pats the mint. And that's the verbal component. And your hair just kind of melts away from the mint, like it, as per expected from a prestidigitation
I'm gonna do
spell.
that thing when you've just like dried your hair and you're like fluffing it up a little bit. Maybe you put some product in it because I kind of got like a little wolf cut going. I've got it layered, right, and shaggy, and I'm just gonna like run my hands through it and kind of fluff it out, make sure it's like evenly distributed, like in front and behind the shoulders and stuff, right? That way it's not all
About to
clumped
switch
in
to
one
the fair.
area. And just making sure it's all nice and clean, and then I'm gonna crack that mint in half and be like, "You won't have this."
Oh no, no.
Well, all right, that's a lot of no's. I'll appreciate what you've done here. I gotta find my friends. I don't know if they're sleeping in or what. I kind of zipped on out. I didn't even think to look for them right away. I'll find that coin for you, and
All
I'll
right,
bring it
S,
back. You
have
gonna be
yourself a
here all
good.
day?
Of course, I'll be all around here. I am a bird after all. Unassuming bird, yes, clean.
Well, hey, you know what they say? Hey, Fae of a feather flock together, right? And I'm gonna flutter my little butterfly wings. I'll find you.
Of course.
I'm gonna get you that raven coin. You can do with it whatever you want. I'm gonna find, and tell you what, if you find a coin and it's got a little pixie on there, right? You hand that one to me. We'll do a trade.
I look forward to having a delicious little trade, and I hope it's clean. If not, I'll make sure it's clean.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're the master of making things clean, so I mean, you ain't got to worry about it.
They wouldn't
It's dirty
call
for me. I gotta go wash it.
Yes,
Yeah?
they wouldn't call me Clean Flexington for nothing.
Clean Flexington. Well, my name is Rain Peppermint, and it is a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
And then I think about what I just said for a second, and kind of like,
That's right.
probably shouldn't have done that. And then I do like a real cheesy, like as big a smile as I can get, where you can see all my teeth at top and bottom, and my cheeks are like out, like just an awkward, like just trying as hard as I can to be like, this is fine. And I'm like, well, I gotta go, and then I'm just gonna take off and go back to the inn.
So, in that time frame, you definitely flew past Sherman. The question is, did Sherman notice you? You want to give me a little perception there, Sherman?
Ah.
Yep. Nope. I mean, there is inspirations that can be
You know,
Pass around.
if I
I
may,
was gonna.
with
Zed-
the name drop, I would probably be nervous, and one of my stipulations in my bio, right, is when I get nervous or stressed, I do the bioluminescence of the firefly a little bit. The lower half kind of
Start
blinks a little
flashing.
bit. Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Easier to stand out in a crowd.
Zed was at the bar as well. He got back and is kind of waiting for everyone downstairs with chocolate milk.
Oh no. Here we go.
So
the
and
addiction.
that would have been before Rain flew out.
Indeed.
He kind of just watched Rain just like fly from the stairs and just out a window.
Yeah. But now's the fun
with
part.
the mint on his head.
Because now that you guys got your long rest in, now it's montage time. Because you're kind of waking up and thinking about stuff.
It's a montage.
So I'm going to go down the list. And you know what? Cha's the first on the list. Cha, what is your montage? And what skill were you choosing?
Okay, so Cha realizing that he's done a lot of studying from his library back in hell. He would like to actually find a library in this town and do a montage of studying about the Feywild, about the politics of the differing like factions and different courts and how they feel about each other, about this city of Zareth that we're in that has gained independence from the Sealy Court. You want to learn some things about the Candy Cane Court and all that kind of stuff, and just do like a lot of studying to increase his intelligence score by 1.
So it would be, so it's only to a skill. So it's a +1 to a skill, not a stat.
Oh, sorry, to a skill.
Yeah.
My bad. Okay, let me think. Let me rethink this then. There's somebody else can go ahead.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
go
we can
last.
come back. So next on my list is me, but I don't need a montage. So then that goes to Kozik. What skill has Kozik kind of done a little bit of a montage in? You know, because you guys went to sleep and you kind of thought back to some points in time in the past where you didn't really think about it, but as you think back on those moments, it's like, oh yeah, now I put 2 and 2 together. I figured out that so and so makes more sense now, or I did this thing and now I know how to do it better.
Well, from being here in the Feywild and with my connection to some sort of arch-fey entity, as I was going to sleep and maybe a little bit when I was waking up, I was kind of feeling a little wistful, and I was writing a letter in my head to my long lost adventuring cousin Vorzak Deepshaft. He's a paladin out there somewhere, righting wrongs and stuff, and I was like, wow, he was really good at what he did. He righted wrongs and stuff, and I was thinking about my burgeoning magic abilities and kind of doing a meditation and thinking about the Feywild, and I think maybe Arcana would be something good that I would feel maybe a little more in tune with.
All right, all right.
Kozik's having a mental montage.
Going to
Of
have
meditation.
a mental montage. All right, so you definitely think of wrongs that could have been written in the arcane side of there's those wrongs that can be done on the arcane side of things, so that also makes sense. All right, I'm just making sure I get the stuff in my notes so I can plop these in after session. All right, next up on my list is Rain.
All right, so we zoom in on Ray with the pillow, right, and the mint, and he raises up. It's the middle of the night, and he goes to like a little candle, right, and this candle probably comes up to like his shoulders even, and he's just gonna do like a little snap, and the candle like lights up, right, and then he has a little pixie-sized book, and he sits down at the base of the candle as if he's reading under a tree, right, and it's kind of illuminating the pages, and he's reading this book called 50 Shades of Fey, and he's getting really into it, and he's licking his fingertip, and he's flipping through things, and then he kind of scrutinizes the page, and the camera zooms in on the page, and you see it's got this name, it's called like Zoinksburg or something weird, and he does like this very puzzled look, like, huh, what is that? And then it zooms in, like probably following Shaw, as Shaw's going to like the library kind of resource, right? And then you see like alphabetical, he looks in the Z's for like Zoinksburg, right? And he pulls out a book, And then while trying to get more information on his romance novels, so he can have a better understanding of them, he has accidentally picked up a couple courses on history of the world. And so I would like to have a +1 to history. And it's just me like reading all these books and like being like in tree branches and stuff in different scenarios, or like some even hanging upside down like a bat, because Faye can kind of like do that. They can just float. So I'll be on the ceiling and just reading upside down, right? And just the montage is just me in different areas sitting, maybe like sipping on like some more chocolate milk or something, only this time in a thimble instead of a giant mountain of a mug, right?
All right. Main for history. All right. Sherman, what is your montage? And you don't really sleep, so let's see how that plays out.
So I'm gonna find a local smithy since we're in the high end area, the rich place area, right? Somebody who's like, real good at what they do. And have you seen the first Iron Man movie? I want to have a montage of him like building a suit of armor, like Tony Stark building the Mark One Iron Man, and like all the hot, sweaty swinging of hammers and the fires everywhere and the clanging of metal and training with this smithy, and I will do that for athletics, working out my muscles.
Sherman. Athletic.
I don't know how
All
to
right.
change it though.
Getting swole barbing it.
In Swoleberg is where I live.
All right, so Sherman for athletics. And then Zed, what's your waking montage?
Zed didn't really get a whole lot of sleep last night, but no.
So you worked on athletics too, right?
No.
Endurance.
I actually have a right. I have a funny thought. We don't have to
Animal
go into it,
handling.
but we might go into it, I guess, if Zed is asked about the evening. However, Zed's montage, having nothing to do with the prior evening, is he finally officially challenges his mage hand. His mage hand is undefeated at rock paper scissors, and he gets to a point where it's almost like this there's no like conversation, it's just in his head, but he's just like, I need to learn. He's just kind of like thinking this because he just keeps losing. I need to learn. And so the hand, without Zed even having control necessary, or he doesn't feel like he does, the hand grabs the like a stone, if you will, and does the kind of ball and cup trick with Zed. So like 3 cups, there's a stone, and he's doing this over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Zed loses every time and every time. It's like just like the rock paper scissors, until finally Zed realizes that there's a tell, that the hand is basically showing him what the right choice is every time, and he's been adamantly just going against it because he thinks it's a trick. He doesn't realize that he's actually perceiving this is a tell. And so through all of this training, I believe Zed ends up learning to increase his perception.
All right. And that brings us back to Cha. You got it figured out?
I do. So, looking through my skills, I think what he'd like to do, which I had actually thought about a long time ago, Cha has been doing some really intense strength training stuff because he's really flexible and lithe and kind of cut, but not really that strong. He's more about speed and dexterity. So I think he's been doing a lot of really intense push-ups and pull-ups and exercises to increase his strength and would like to increase his score of athletics by 1.
All right. Further represented by having been woken up by that delightful teddy bear.
Uh, uh,
What did
Okay. Cha, Kozik,
I got
Rain,
everyone's
Sherman,
but Sherm's.
he also did athletics.
Okay.
Yeah, he was doing Iron Man scene. Big, sweaty,
Yeah.
swole.
Swinging a big old sledgehammer on a chunk of metal.
Or like all those scenes in like movies where it's like the background is like non-existent and there's like this anvil and next to it's just like this pit of like molten hot metal and like a hammer clinging and the camera zooms in on like the sparks flying off of like whatever it is that he's working on, and all you can see is like arms reaching out and like hammer to steel and the clinging
A
of
drip of sweat fall
yeah,
and hit the top.
and it like sizzles like
sizzle. Yeah, I like that.
and then you wake up. It was all a dream the whole time.
Chatu having just your classic Rocky montage. She's doing the one-armed like 3-fingered push-ups and jumping over to the other arm.
So yeah, I just have to get the montage down because I have to jump through a hoop or two to have it give you guys a +1, but it's pretty quick now that I figured it out.
You guys are in the hallway, and Sherman's just fantasizing, miming, swinging a hammer.
None of it was real.
None of it was real.
So yeah, you guys
score increase.
pretty much wake up around the same time, except for a couple of you.
Yeah, I don't. I only have to be inactive for 6 hours, so I would have probably left and wandered for a bit.
I mean, at this point, you'd see Rain fluttering back in with 2. I don't know. How fast can you eat a peppermint?
Me?
Yeah,
In real life, or is Rain?
Rain.
What's the difference?
Right? I'm gonna tell you right now, when Rain does it, it looks like a squirrel storing their nuts in their cheeks, right? And he's got like this whole ass peppermint, and his cheek kind of stretches out to the side, and it takes him, I don't know, it takes a couple minutes, like he's savoring it, right?
All
As
right.
he's fluttering by, I'll tell him he's ruining his appetite.
Yeah, pretty much you see Rain fluttering by the room. Because you'd be the first one to see Rain at this point because you were doing the Sentry's Rest. Or you just could have come across him either way. But yeah, you guys all wake up for the most part. I'm guessing everybody heads down because Zed's been sort of waiting down there.
I think after Cha recovers from seeing the teddy bear reappear in such a melodramatic way, he's just gonna slowly pull himself together and take on the form of Agatha Deep Shaft once more and head down with Kozik, but not next to him, sort of trailing behind him.
Oh, you don't want to stand next to the delightful teddy bear with the cute little beady button eyes that stare into the void of nothingness? No? Okay.
If you're
So
too
Zed,
far behind, it almost looks like a walk of shame. You don't want to give him the wrong idea now. After Zed's night.
Zed, you see the party eventually collectively come down. in some way, shape, or order. And there's Ed just kind of hanging out there, just sort of waiting for people. He looks like he's wide awake. He's been up.
I'm
You
wide
just,
awake.
you just got a elbow on the bar, and you see 4 glasses, like traditional same size glasses as before, of chocolate milk, and then there's like a shot glass full of chocolate milk.
It's like a wheelbarrow full.
And Zed's just kind of leaning there. He's like, "Oi, got you all something? How'd you sleep?"
Sticky. You?
Also sticky.
Chop
hate it
definitely
here.
looks with wide eyes. I think
didn't-
at seeing the chocolate milk, Cha's gonna sort of relax finally and just start and go over and smile and be like, "Yes, how was your night, dearie?"
Well, honestly, Zed'll you kind of see him like, not like slumped down, but like he's not putting up a facade. He's just kind of like, well, let me
Swapped in the.
just tell you how it was. It was great. We I was taught about tiddlywinks, and
It's gonna switch the scene.
apparently we're actually both somewhat fond of each other.
Where's
I
ours?
That's what I took of it, but um yeah, and I helped
Ooh,
Tiffany set
Zed's
up
got a
the
crush.
Let's use
I
that scene.
helped Tiffany set up the fair a bit. You wouldn't believe how popular she is around here. Honestly, she knows damn near everyone, so I think we might get the preferential treatment, as hopefully we're gonna meet up with her for the fair, and she'll show us around. It there's a lot out there. Zed seems kind of excited
You
because
can chime in there, Sherman. Don't be afraid. You can say it.
he's seen more of the fair so far, in kind of helping set up and like walking around a little bit, than everyone
Yeah.
else has. So you kind of get this feeling from Zed that he's energetic and like excited to have the rest of the party experience it.
Sherman is offering something to somebody. What's going on there, Sherman?
I'm pulling out cinnamon sticks and handing them to everybody, and then I pull out a toothpick
Oh,
size
there we
one
go.
and I hand
Oh,
it to one.
nice.
Hot dog.
Cinnamon stick. Yes.
I'm
And
gonna
then
put my cinnamon stick in the chocolate milk and swirl a little bit and then eat it.
I'm gonna
Is it like
slide
a
mine.
cinnamon?
That's it.
Is it like a straw?
Yeah, like a rolled up cinnamon bun.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm
Ah,
picturing. Okay,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
I was thinking of churro.
dude. Cha's horror at the teddy bear has all melted completely away in this
I'm gonna
brand
slide.
new way to enjoy this beverage.
I'm gonna slide mine over to Cha and be like, I don't actually drink anything. Real awkwardly.
Really? Nothing?
Then I'm gonna lean in and whisper and be like, I don't have a stomach.
Oh.
He's half gorilla, half machine.
Can you taste
Oh,
things?
this is gonna be good.
Yeah, there's just not a point to it.
Oh.
And can you? Do we all hear this, or is it just Cha?
It's up to
Hey,
Sherman.
doesn't seem like he's whispering.
I'm
It's up
gonna
Let me update
I'm
his
gonna be like,
OBS.
you want to
It's
see a
secret,
trick?
though. Cha nods.
I'm gonna walk over, and I assume there's some sort of. This is a very vanity-stricken place. I'm gonna assume there's some sort of mirror on the wall.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna walk over and grab a small one.
Oh,
I'm gonna
it's
hold
clicked.
it right underneath my face and be like, "Do you see anything?" As I hold it right underneath my mouth.
Cha's mouth drops open and he kind of looks.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't breathe either.
Uh, how do you live?
I'm gonna open a panel on the chest.
Uh, wha- what is this?
Think like
I've never.
biomechanical, like a pacemaker.
Child looks around at everybody. What? It, what? How? I've never seen anything like it.
This one's new to me as well.
You don't eat? You don't breathe? Did you sleep last night?
No.
You don't sleep. Uh, Chalk catches himself totally dropping his accent again.
Well, I don't need to. But it's not, it's not a detriment or anything. I just, you know,
What-
it's a
How
thing
were you?
that at one point I had to do. And then I said, well, I can get a lot more done if I don't do these things. So I removed them.
So you used to? So you were born like a living creature?
I'm gonna
Uh,
grab my very fleshy real cheeks and pull them out and like stretch them. Be like, yeah,
did this to yourself?
no, and yes.
Zed's gonna
Uh,
kind of like ooh, reach out and feeling a bit more comfortable with Sherman at this point. Obviously, not knowing him, so it's not just
There we go.
egregious. But he's gonna tap one of the metal parts of Sherman, probably like on a forearm. Like, so, well, how do you feel about these metal bits?
You get used to them. I'll flip it. I'll flip the one on his arm open that he used to disguise, and you'll see a bone in there, like a real bone.
Whoa.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
You see,
Um,
so I was a little one, much smaller, not as big as I was. I was much smaller at one point in time, and then I met a man, and a man took me away from a place that was filled with a lot of bad things. And I remember having people that cared about me there, not people that look like me, more, gorillas. And then I went with this guy when the bad things happened. And this guy made the bad things not happen anymore. And then suddenly I understood everything that was happening. Then in time, I'm not with the man anymore, but I was smart enough to figure it out on my own that I needed to keep going. And to do that, and all these ideas that I suddenly had in my head, I needed to make real. And to do that, there's just useless parts about physiology and anatomy that I didn't need. Like, and I'm gonna point at Cha and I'm gonna like grab fleshy bits on him and be like, see, you don't need these.
Um. I, what? So you were. So that. Well. So this man changed you, but then you changed yourself?
No, 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 no. He just made me able to see things that I didn't see before.
Oh.
I changed myself. I
What
don't know.
sorcery
after
is this?
after touching like a part of Sherm's forearm, Zed's gonna reach up to. I'm assuming his like chest plate is what I got from it, where the X19 is.
Yeah, so he has a metal chest and like a metal jaw and like the rest of and like bits of like plating on his like arms and hands and stuff. But he's pretty organic, quote unquote, besides that.
Right. Right. Okay. I just wanted to like get the location right. Zed's gonna be very serious and looking, you know, uh, Sherman in the eyes and just kind of tap his chest right underneath the X19. He's like, "Hey, is that where this comes from, mate?"
No, that's the bad ones. The good guy took it away.
were the bad ones?
I had parents once.
Were bad?
No. I don't know where they went because of the bad guys. Then a guy
What are
showed
those
up
bad guys.
and made the bad guys go away. And then he took me to, I think if I remember right, it's the Peppermint Court, right?
Mhm.
He took me there. And then I met Rain. And I met all the people in the Peppermint Court. And they were pretty good. And they gave me a new place to stay. And they gave me this place that I could do things that fit what I thought the world needed to be.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to give him the real background of why we left. I'm going to leave that part out and be like, and then there came a point in time where the things that I was working on in my laboratory didn't need to be worked on anymore because this person, and I'm going to point to Rain, was more important than what I was doing.
As he points, you're gonna see me, and I basically have what is a 3-gallon bucket of chocolate milk, and I've got it like right at my face, and I'm tipping it all in, just not a care in the world.
And then as I say what I'm doing, I'm going to pull out my sovereign glue, and I'm going to be like this, and I'm going to hold it up.
Gosh.
Don't touch it. You'll never not touch it ever again.
So you're happy with your current form, and
Oh,
that's
and I'm gonna lean into it and be like, yeah. When you're unhappy with things, you do things to make yourself happy with them. If you're not able to choose the hand you're dealt, you just have to decide what cards you play.
well, I can agree with that.
And these are the cards I chose to play. I was dealt a bad hand, and I made it into a royal flush.
Your friend, did they destroy the bad ones, or are the bad ones still out there?
No, I was no longer in the situation anymore, and that date it was irrelevant. So I didn't need to think about it anymore. I don't care what happened to them. I don't know what happened to them. I don't know. I didn't need to think about them anymore.
Well, one thing I've noticed in our little group is, not saying it will be true for you, it seems that our pasts have a funny way of showing up again. If you could describe these bad ones, then at least we can keep our eyes out.
A tower. I remember a tower. And I remember a forest. The forest is where we came from. And then I remember going to this place. And then there was like stone walls, and there was a lot of things, machinery and things, and pokes and prods, and things that people watching you or standing around you, looking at you. You're not able to do anything. You just kind of got to sit and you got to do it. You got to just, whether you want to or not. He's gonna like kind of stare off into the distance as he's talking about it.
And that's the perfect time because you start hearing drums and trombones and all sorts of musical instruments start to get very loud walking through the streets outside. Celebrations, people cheering.
Shaw also looks off in the distance and is like, looks back at
Where's the stupid
Sherman
scene I have? Scene. Where is it?
and
That's
just
the one.
kind of nods.
Hi, Yule. It's starting.
I'm gonna slap Shaw on the shoulder and be like, but it's in the past. It's relevant now. The only thing that is relevant is the future and what is right now in this exact moment. And then I'm gonna pick him up and we're gonna walk towards the door.
Yep. So
Righto.
when you walk to the door, well, first off, when you pat him on the shoulder, his shoulder's not where it is, because disguises and illusions. But you know where his actual form is. So,
Yep.
But you get to the door and you see this
You know,
like
swift
marching
pat on the
band.
butt, thinking it's his shoulder.
Oh yeah.
much.
You get to the door and you see this like marching band walking through, and they're just playing this like jaunty tune. There's people like spinning batons in the air and doing flips. Like it's on, and they kind of seem like there's a there's a good bit of a crowd following them, almost like they know where to go kind of thing. And even from where you are, being nowhere near the current festival, you can see like fireworks going off in the sky, like varying degrees of colors and shapes. Like there's little dragons that are fired off into the sky where they explode, and there's like like shapes of like dragons and shapes of like the sun, and it's just all anything your imagination can come up with is there's a different thing going on in the sky every moment. But the real question is, do you guys follow the marching band and the crowd?
Is there an instrument that I can pick up and join the marching band?
Do you have an instrument that you have available that you could use?
No.
Well, I mean, you look around, you don't really see any like laying around.
Then I
So
will
we're-
grab my hammer in the front and hold it off to the side of my hand like I am leading the marching band. Walk out in front.
Nice.
So we eventually would like to meet up with Tiffany. She was planning on showing us around, showing us some booths and things like that. But honestly, I think this parade might lead us straight to her.
It's a parade.
Cha's gonna dip into a corner. He's having a hard time holding his form together this way, and he's gonna change back into Cha.
I was gonna
And then
say
he's
Cha.
gonna-
We were seeing halflings riding dinosaurs earlier. Cha's gonna be
Yeah.
in his normal form. He will be accepted. We just needed to get through the lofty highborn.
Right. And he comes out like of like an alleyway with his flute, his like shakuhachi flute, and is totally dancing and joining in with this band.
Kozik, what are you doing and seeing the party kind of getting into it? You going with?
Definitely going with. I pick up Mr. Teddy Bear and I start kind of pumping him up in the air along with the music.
No,
And-
no.
And we're off. We're on the second line or whatever. This is dwarven
Oh,
new
God,
dwarf
help us.
new dwarf leans.
Your dwarf leans. Nice.
All right, put that one in the quote book. Rain. I'm guessing Rain's
So-
kind of.
Following Sherman right now as he's leading the little parade, right? And I'm just doing more of that. You know what? I want to waste another spell slot and just do more mirror image dancing. Right? That's what these are for.
Yeah, and this is kind
For
of like
sure.
in your element too, like the celebration, the jaunty tunes, just kind of just the
Do they
air,
got
the
any
ambiance is totally.
like specific songs or lyrics? Anything familiar?
Well, the marching band is really just music, so there's not really any lyrics. Just good beats, like the
I'm
thumping
just
of the drums
picturing
and stuff.
like like the song Celebration, right?
Yeah.
Celebrate.
Yeah, I want to sing that like as loud as I can, doing the multi-form kind of dancing and stuff. And actually, I want to headbang to it this time. Just get that shaggy now that it's fresh and clean, right?
So fresh and so clean.
Mhm.
Keeping an eye out for Clean Flexington.
Oh, I'm also keeping an eye out for any Raven coins I might see, and any because he said it was where they have food. So maybe if I could find any stalls that have food.
All right. So essentially, we can sort of fast forward a little bit to the fairgrounds because I've been itching to get to this map because it's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys follow the marching band where, once they get to the fairgrounds, which is very clearly marked as fairgrounds, you see them, they sort of break off, like they do it not in a way that's just like, all right, we got here, now we're done. So the marching band like splits in two down the middle and goes two separate directions in the look like two different portions of Zareth, as if they're about to do another set of rounds, leaving you at this fairground. Oop. And I gotta make sure everybody can see it, because I know when I port them in, they don't come with the proper lighting, which is weird.
I can't see anything.
I see
You will
black.
shortly.
Oh, I do now.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Hey, that's cool.
Ciao.
Wow, I'm having flashbacks to the fairgrounds in Chrono Trigger.
Ooh, yeah.
So
Oh
oh yeah. So pretty much once you arrive here, there's tables all over the place. There's like booths around, varying smaller degrees of vendors here and there. Probably small place where you can get like snacks. Maybe you see like you point over there, you see this guy selling this really fluffy, light looking, almost like looks like cotton, but you see people eating it. You see this very large stage over there, probably some kind of like main event of sorts. Yeah, right now it is, even this early, it is on. There's people laughing and excited. They're like drinking like what look like candied beverages. Some people walking around with these really tasty looking sandwiches. It'll make sense once you start walking around. I mean, it looks like a lot of events are still in the midst of getting set up, but I will say the ones that they do currently have almost ready to go. Hold on. Actually, I can save that for next time.
Yeah, nice.
But the one that the quote unquote event that is right in front of you, there's like a table where there's like some tables in front of you. Looks like people are just having arm wrestling contests.
There's a
And they have, like,
train running around everywhere.
And they have like their hands tied together as just sort of part of the just part of the courtesy of it. And there's like this jaunty music playing, and it's a fantastic time. People are excited and happy and having a good time. You could see like people hauling some stuff through the crowds because like looks like they're still setting some stuff up. And you can pretty easily see how big this map actually is based on the model that's moving around right now. So with that,
Cha's doing somersaults and backflips and laughing and is full of merriment already.
But that's where we're gonna wrap up the session because it's a little bit later. I really want you guys to get to the fair at least because I think it's cool.
Love
A little more
fairs.
excitement for next time.
Oh, were we not
Love
supposed to
D&D
drag and drop our
holidays.
tokens on the map?
Oh, here you can.
I just wanted to have something to move around.
Because otherwise, I could have done that. So
Oh, that
yeah.
was great. Good work. Got to have some Zed and Sprite loving. Need some fan fiction about all that.
Goody, can you sing the song "Summer Lovin'" for us right now?
From
I will say-
Greece? I love
Yes.
Greece.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I know that there was a lot going on and stuff, but I feel like we kind of filled up time pretty well. I knew that Cubed wanted to do the fair thing, but early on when Niavara wasn't going to be here, part of me was like, this is going to be a cool thing that we should all hopefully be able to do as a group. So I feel like if she's able to be back next week, it just kind of lines up perfectly because all of us are going to be able to go through the fair and do all the fun stuff as a whole group.
Yeah, is there any word on her? Is she doing okay?
Still recovering. Better, but still
Oh,
recovering.
okay.
So, yeah, we filled time pretty well, I would say.
A whole lot of flirting and a
That was a
whole lot
fun
of
session.
chocolate milk.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Ah, the chocolate milk. That took me back to when we first came into the material plane for sure.
I was so there's like two things. I was almost expecting Cubed to, as soon as because you were kind of going through this montage of like having your first sip of milk, and I was in the back of my head, I was like waiting for Cube to just be like, "All right, Chop, make a Constitution save."
I
Lactose
know, me
intolerance.
And like,
too.
yeah, you have like an allergic reaction to milk because you've never had like or chocolate even
Oh,
because
that
that
would
was
have
the
been
kind of thing. In
that
the
would
back
have
of my
been
head, I was like,
great.
oh, there could be some shenanigans here, but
We come to
uh-oh.
find out that if you're from the hells, like that's your kryptonite. It's just milk.
Shaw just
You're
like melts
allergic
into
to
a
it like
pool of
dogs.
fucking
It could
Yeah.
kill
yeah.
you.
You have the poisoned condition for an hour. You have disadvantage on all skill checks.
So I was,
Oh,
but when that didn't happen, I was fully expecting that same like almost frolicking sort of bouncing off the walls energy that Cha had when we got
Well,
to the material plane.
my little spice bag is coming in handy, throwing in little bits here and
I
there.
love that thing. Yeah.
oh, that was great.
I made best friends with a bird today.
What was the name again? It was
Clean Flexington.
Cleany.
Clean
Clean
flexing it.
Flexington.
Not Torg Flexington. Clean Flexington.
I somehow made Shaw sad. And I didn't mean to.
Oh no, that was perfect. I mean, that had to happen at some point to like to just dive in.
Yeah, we hadn't. Rainey given you his background, and I hadn't. I put a lot of thought into it over the past couple of days, but I hadn't said anything yet. I was trying to sneak it in
Holy
there.
shit, our tokens are small.
I thought it was just
Yeah.
Rain being small.
Okay.
Oh, is
Well,
it?
slide your token on.
How do you do that?
Okay, let's try
You
that.
just
Go to
click where your
your
profile is, drag it.
yeah, just
Where's
drag
that
it.
at?
Oh, there you go. So
Oh no,
you
that's
are actually small.
appropriate.
Nice.
Cute.
Is it this one? Oh,
Uh,
I didn't know you could do that.
oh, that's adorable.
Wait,
That's
Kusi,
awesome.
I'm a gorilla. You know the drill.
Wait, come grab this chair real quick.
I gotta start throwing chairs from the rooftops again.
Yeah, start flipping tables.
In Kuthi's game, we found an arm wrestling challenge in a back alleyway, and I did wild shape into a silverback gorilla and entered the arm wrestling competition. And when I lost, I got mad, started making screeching noises, and grabbed chairs and ran to the rooftops and started throwing chairs at the crowd.
I was pretty sure at first you grabbed the chair, climbed up to a rooftop, and like that was like your position for a bit, but then you started getting wild, just chunking it out there in the alley. Yeah.
Screeching and jumping and flailing my arms around and chest banging and because I
I
lost
imagine
one.
since you yourself, you're not like a
So you guys
person
don't
who
get
turned into a
bored with the
gorilla. You're not
scene?
an anthropomorphic gorilla, right? You are an experiment from an actual gorilla. You might still have those mannerisms, except now you can translate. Be like, I'm just so excited, but it looks like you're ferociously throwing stuff, right?
Yeah,
Right.
so I was going with the actual gorilla, but I was rescued from these experimenters by a good-hearted warlock that gave me hyperintelligence, and then with that, I modified my experiments to my own liking because I didn't like what they had done to me. So I tried to make the most out of it. Now that I'm smart enough to do it, I'm going to take this thing that has been cast upon me and forge it to my own, is what the idea is behind it.
All right, all y'all. See you next week. Great session. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Take
All
care.
right, thanks for coming.
We'll see you later. Gorillas in the Mist. Yeah. This is like the third gorilla I've played in D&D, actually. So.
Wait a minute, I'm gonna try something. Did you size this, or is this because I changed this? No, you sized it. Okay.
Yeah, you have a slightly smaller token. I had to.
All right. I'm gonna
No, I like it.
insert
This is appropriate. Yeah, yeah. Which even on the token maker, I reduced the size by like 0.2 or something to make it a little smaller. But yeah, this is, and I was even where I was like, that's still probably gonna be too big because it'll be just big as everybody else and cover it up. No, this is perfect.
All right. Well, with that, I'm gonna wrap up this.
I like how I can
stream.
hold Alt and change which like corner of the square I want to be in.
They're kind of playing with tokens, so it's all good. So with that,
Anyway, thanks for the D&D.
yep, I'm just wrapping
Thanks,
up the
dude.
stream.
That's fun. See you next time.
See ya. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. There was a lot of good times and a lot of interesting times. And we'll be, well, for the purposes of this anyway, next Tuesday at about 7:30 Pacific. We're getting better. It's like 7:15. Wait a minute. Yeah. We're trying to reel it in. Initially I want to start at 7 though, but then we're working our way down. So with that, I hope you guys have a good morning, evening, or whatever it is in between for you. And I look forward to catching you guys next time and dropping some fun little things that I can throw into the game. You know, like needing a cleric or table flipping or cloud marshmallows. But anywho, I'll catch you guys next time. Hope you have a good one. Don't be a stranger, because I'll be back at it tomorrow. But not at 7, like an hour earlier, like 6 Pacific. Anywho, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. All right. Bye.